If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple two-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
Before we hail the founding, we honor the fallen. Before we celebrate the triumph, we pay the tribute. Before we crown the victory, we count the cost. Today, we are reminded that there could be no 4th of July without America's armed forces, and there could be no Independence Day without Memorial Day. We owe our liberty, our self-government, the glories of our history, and our very nation itself to the generations who paid for it with everything they had, the ultimate sacrifice. The first Americans to give their lives in battle fell on April 1775 when 8 patriots were cut down by redcoats. Those guns, they were shot on Lexington Green. They had answered the call to muster against a force 5 times their strength. They said at the time, the greatest in the world, in defense of their cherished rights and their cherished liberty. As the British approached to Massachusetts, militiamen summoned destiny itself, saying, if they mean to have a war, let it begin right here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table of Titans. It is Thursday again, and we've got Paymasters. Got a whole update about what's going on with that. Where's all that cash going? We got nation and stateside. We're going to take a look at both of those. We got decisions out of the Supreme Court. We got election stuff. It's totally falling apart over there with the Democrats. We still got war coming on the eve of maybe another ceasefire. Yes, no, maybe not. Who knows? We're going to definitely get there. We just got done with the holidays and Memorial Day for everybody out there. Thank you for everybody who served out there in past, present, and future going forward. We are man down. We are man up this week, so we're not a side Table of Titan. We are Table of Titans because I got Space Shot and Tron with me. Sir, how was camping?
Camping was awesome. It was great to get outside to the great outdoors. I had John Candy all over the place. Shout out to the Canadians in the chat. No, man, it was great. The fresh air, time with the family, a little fishing. Ticks weren't that bad in my area, but other places out of control. And again, what else are they going to come up with to try to stop us? Nothing can stop what is coming. Boss dropping Q memes. Again, we're going to love how this movie ends. Stick with us, deplorables. And aliens, guys, aliens.gov. And the funny thing is, we called this way, way, way long ago. Imagine the disclosure psyop is going to turn into some sort of illegal alien ploy or plot. And I love it, dude. Mixing 2 and 1 is like Pert Plus, baby. Hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it. It's boom time. And Paymasters, follow the money, baby. Let's go. Fraud is everywhere. And imagine once it stops, all the money coming back, how much is going to enrich our nations. And again, DJT is number 1. Let's boom, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, rinse, lather, repeat. Mr. Space Shot.
What's going on and how's it going out there, my fellow world patriots? Yeah, dude, it's getting wild out there. 30, 40 million in gold. We'll get to that, I'm sure, but wow. Loose lips sink ships. So who he told, I don't know who ratted on him, but man, you got to know people are greedy out there and they'll either rat you out or kill you and take that stuff. So Yeah, a lot of craziness going on. I don't even know, like, ceasefire. I just consider, that's kind of posturing. Oh, wait, we got a ceasefire. Wait, somebody's closing the strait. Somebody wants the strait open. Somebody wants it closed. It's like back and forth, back and forth. But they are absolutely bleeding on the inside and actually on the outside, too, with oil apparently all over Karg Island. So I don't know if that's getting any better, or I don't think it can, but we shall see. Always a big hat tip to the mods. We do greatly appreciate your help. And always a big hat tip to Country and the folks over there streaming with us on Liberty-Based News, formerly the Patriot News crew over there, where we all met about 8+ years ago. So definitely a lot of interesting things going on. And kind of like what Tron was talking about, it was like a big free-for-all for decades and decades and decades. And all these people, it seemed like it obviously got worse in the last like 5 or 6 years or whatever, but seems that way only because we're living through this. But it was like a free-for-all, a gimme shop. These people were just enriching themselves to the nth degree on our money. So once that fraud or a majority of that fraud is cleared up, it's going to be smooth sailing from there. So I cannot wait to see these people go down. And they are going down in record numbers. So very, very interested to see what the next shooter drop is. So back to you, Mr. Hulkinator.
Yeah, we're seeing some results coming out of Minnesota and whatnot. Nothing out of California, not too much out of California. Still waiting for a little bit to come out there. They're awfully quiet this week out there as we're following some of the stories out here. But let's get into it. Let's focus a little bit about the 250 stuff, because that stuff was interesting. That is coming up on Boss's birthday for the UFC type of thing here. And Tron, oh wait, we got to get here first. It's Marco Rubio's birthday. He is 56 years old today.
Is he?
It's almost like he was born for this, dude. How many positions does he have? Marco Rubio, fighting. And again, potential presidential pick for 2028. Again, diamonds are going to be returned. Boss doesn't make those Trump 2028 hats for no reason, absolutely. So again, happy birthday, Marco. You're going to have great birthdays in the future. But again, he's been great. He's been really great. Little Marco from the very beginning. And he's been proven through and through, and a helpful mediator in Cuba. So we're going to take Cuba in the next few weeks. That's already done too, kind of like Iran. We're just waiting for something else to fall, but everything has to do with one another. And shout out to Marco, dude.
Yeah, Radcliffe was just there last week. We didn't see anything come around from that yet. But also, I thought this was interesting. They're putting up the UFC event. Look, it looks like the Stargate. That looks so familiar.
God. Dude, yes, that does look just like the freaking Stargate. Oh my God.
I'm kidding. This is it right here. This is what it looks like right there.
Well, it looked like it because it was it, right? But dude, that's crazy. So they're
I just had to throw it in there.
Well, I guess
there's like a whole leaked video. That's what it's going to look like, folks.
Space Shot, what do you think of the factor that Rogan said that it shouldn't be allowed to be fought outside in the heat or something to that degree? I mean, it's 250 years, dude. This is soldiers. Like, let's just, outside is fine, right?
Well, it depends really on what the weather is going to be like, and, humidity and stuff like that can, and then a lot of these people too. So a lot of these guys go up to like Big Bear in California. From what I understand, Hulk, it's very high up in elevation. I think that's California, Big Bear.
Yeah, we're high in California, yes.
They stay high. But they go up there and they go to high elevation to train for this stuff. So these people are peak athletes. Will it have an effect? If it's really, really hot, it could. However, this is the only, to my recollection, and maybe there was one here or there, but the only Sunday show that I could ever remember being on UFC, because they're always Saturday night, sometimes maybe Friday. I've never seen a Sunday that I can recall, but apparently they're doing it because that's the POTUS's birthday on that day, I think, right? So very interesting. The Heat definitely could. Thrilla in Manila with Muhammad Ali. People, they've said they felt like they were going to die while they were fighting in there, but I don't think it's going to be quite that hot.
Well, they did go look last year, and it was 100 degrees at like, I don't know, would they say 7 or 8 o'clock at night still? So they just looked at last year's patterns, and it was scorchingly hot with no air conditioner. Everything's outside. So again, we'll see what happens. It should be interesting.
That will be fun.
Here's the other thing that was happening. Look what they did to Hoover Dam. Did you guys see this?
No, that is awesome, man. Who actually gets to see that? Like, to be honest with you, is that like a stupid question? Is this like a tourist attraction? But this looks fascinating. This looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, this is a picture from the Freedom Bridge or whatever the bridge is that's back here in the back over here. You can drive your vehicle all the way up to about right here because this is a road that services it. Because I mean, I've driven across this in a car with my grandparents and done the whole damn tour a couple of times, so it's pretty interesting. But you can drive pretty close up to both sides, but most of it's walking across the top. But this will be going on until July 4th, every
Superman,
night.
dude. Superman 1, they had that deal where he had to save the flood. Fantastic. Watch the water.
Yeah, I didn't see any Transformers here at the bottom or anything like that. No Optimus Prime or anything. So sorry, guys.
Hey, Hope, just really quick, to Tron's point, that is going to be on a Sunday. It is June 14th, and people that have, I think it's Peacock or whatever, Paramount Plus on Prime, you can watch it for free. But it is going to be at 8 p.m. So that's going to be, a big teller there. So it says, based on historical, expected highs generally ranging between 81 and 91. Expected lows overnight 58 to 64. So really depends. They ain't going to start the main event or the main card until 8 p.m. I'd hate to be the guys that are on the preliminary cards. They're starting around 3 or 4. They're going to be roasting, is my guess. But I don't think it'll be so hot once you get to that time of night.
Yeah, exactly. So that's for that stuff out there. We started getting into stories and the little decos that these guys started dropping over here. I mean, we saw plenty of these. We're going to get to it. Well, did aliens.gov get what we wanted? All that stuff was out, and this is some of the stuff we're seeing. Just to drop it right back over the wall over there.
I didn't see that one. That's hilarious.
I prefer the one that they did a long time ago where they had the immigration cannon where they would just launch them back over the fence through a little cannon. It was quite interesting. You go click on that aliens.gov link right here. Anybody want to read this for the crowd out here?
Sure. They walk among us. For 60 years, the U.S. government has kept a closely guarded secret. Aliens have been walking among us, living in our neighborhoods, and interacting with us in our daily lives. They've shopped in the same stores, attended the same classes as our children, and lived seemingly normal human existences. With one exception. They do not belong here. Millions arrived under the cover of darkness and embedded themselves directly into our society. Countless presidents, congressmen, and senior officials knew exactly what was happening. Instead of protecting American citizens, they chose to cover it up and even accelerate the invasion. Until one man finally had the courage to tell the truth. Bold, unapologetic, unafraid. President Trump was the first to call out the real danger aliens pose to every American family, every community, and the future of our nation. The truth is no longer out there. It is right here, right now. Boom. Where's your
Dude, they're missing the X-Files theme song. They could have put one of those, animated MIDI files in there or something, but that is that shit. You're quick.
There we go. How about that? Did that work for you?
Whoa. Button master. The MK.
looking up Napoleon and Luna?
But yeah, I got a big giant arrest map here, and I guess you can go around and look at where the most places they've arrested people, I guess. Yeah, and they got names and list of people, but they've only gotten 3.1 million, so a far cry from the ones that we were thinking about getting millions out, because they wanted to get, what, 15 million? 20 million out?
100 million, I think, is the real number. Like, we need to start moving faster.
Well, we'd probably have to wait till after the elections that are coming up for the cycle, and then I think they're going to go a little bit full force into taking the illegal immigrants. I think they all kind of quieted up after the leftist lady was shot, and then basically got rid of everybody on Border Patrol that was very popular. And $250 million spent on that ad campaign for what's for Nome. Yeah, we all know how that went. So yeah, that's where we're sitting there. But again, if we really think about what they're trying to tell us here, I think we've seen it in the movies, and we're always used to watching it from the movies itself. So let's just go right there, what they're talking about, guys.
Who you got your money on, D?
Tough call, okay?
just aliens walking around in an Edgar suit. We've seen those in the movies. I mean, how far off could this actually possibly be? Men in black, all in those nice suits, coming over, covering up all the UFO stuff. I mean, wouldn't be uncommon for something like that to happen. Yeah, I totally forgot about that movie scene there, Cyberspeed.
That's not AI. That's hilarious. I've never seen that before. That is so funny that they attribute the illegal aliens. And imagine, dude, illegal aliens having alien DNA. What if that's where we're coming through? Those Aztecas, those southern. Imagine, dude.
So you've never seen Men in Black then?
I've seen parts. I never sat down. I'm an autist. I can't. I don't have that. I need a fidget spinner. We didn't have them back then.
It's fun.
Rubik's Cube. I just. Yeah, okay, I have to do it. Kids will like it, right? Cursing, too much cursing? What?
No, it's good for kids. Kids will have fun. They'd like it out there. The Fifth Element, maybe not. But yeah, the other ones, yeah.
What do you want? More sugar.
Just to throw that out. And then again, this is all coming on on June 12th, where we got Disclosure Day coming out from Mr. Spielberg over here. The one that did, what was the other? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's interesting the things that he's been saying about this particular movie. Not going to play the clip here itself, but at the very end, he says it's real, which I find interesting. Did I save that clip right here? Nope, I didn't save it.
You could click the last 10, 15 seconds, because that's what he says at the end.
Is that where it is?
It's right at the very right here, yeah.
All of this is true.
There it is.
Yeah. So what he did was he essentially took all the we're not classified, but alien encounters from the past of storylines and putting it together in one movie. You have a messenger that is there from another dimension receiving the messages. But again, Spielberg, you got to think from the very beginning, Hollywood is dying. And now it seems like our government is kind of like colluding with the last parts of Hollywood to put this, a final nail in the coffin. Is this aliens? Is it reverse, engineered technology? Or is it just, military industrial complex? But I'm going to watch it. It's going to look interesting. I mean, the timing, dude, this thing came out how many months ago, years ago? I mean, they've been shelving this for the right time. And it almost seems, coordinated.
Yeah, because he's done E.T. Yeah. I mean, a whole bunch of different ones out there. So maybe there's an E.T. out there. We're just missing it. You want to say something?
No. How do you spell sci-fi? Because he's done a lot of them too. And remember, I have to bring it up every time because he did Poltergeist, right? Wasn't he Poltergeist? Because he was on there with Heather O'Rourke, which who had passed away due to some sort of a bowel obstruction.
Oh, what was her quote? They're here in front of the television, and now our White House is using that same kind of terminology in collusion with Bob Lazar's poster from the 80s. It's telling. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of this disclosure they're going to tell us here in the end. We might just get bupkis. Because a whole bunch of fuzzy videos that are filmed on a potato from the 90s really don't show enough evidence, even though that they have reports and they're going back to seeing some of the other stuff that's out there. It's interesting. It's interesting stuff. But in the end, we all want to see the baby. So I don't know. Would you believe it if they came out and said, take me to your leader? Who would you take them to?
Right.
I'm going after the Nordics first. It's like prison. You got to go after the biggest, the blackest. I'm going after the tallest, whitest Nordic. The minute they hit, and we might have to go to Greenland or Norway, Octothorpe, if you're listening. We're coming. We're taking out the biggest first, dude.
We got to get the insecticides out with the can of Raid. Yeah.
What part?
We've seen Men in Black. That one dude walking around in an Edgar suit.
I asked ChatGPT to give me, all of his sci-fi things, and it said it says Spielberg also produced or influenced sci-fi projects like Back to the Future, Falling Skies, and Super 8. But Close Encounters, like you said, E.T., Jurassic Park, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Minority Report, War of the Worlds, Ready Player One. I actually liked Ready Player One. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it actually is a good movie, and you should see AI if you haven't seen it. Kind of a dystopian future, but again, we'll get into it. All right, change stories. Let's keep rolling. What else do we caught? I want to throw this out there because they are definitely getting ready for DC. You notice the music playing there, Tron?
President Trump has basically laid out a blueprint for the renewal of any city in America. This fountain sat broken for nearly 2 decades. This grand entrance to the Capitol was a symbol of neglect versus one of inspiration. President Trump understands something important, which is great countries build great things, but a choice was made about restoration over deterioration, and a choice was made about beauty over blight. Together, we're restoring a capital city that reflects the strength, the beauty, and most importantly, it represents the promise of the United States of America.
Interesting song. I just thought that was interesting why I brought it in there.
Can you drop that for me? That is awesome. That Bergam is dropping the Sundorma. Dan gave us that to us on the 22nd. Boss talking about nuclear dust. We're going to bring it home. And I'm telling you, man, this is that tracing element where we're going to figure out that, the world's going to awaken to the fact that our nuclear, uranium and whatnot was traveled up through the stream with Five Eyes help. And this is, again, part of Boss's plan of solidifying our future on America's 250. But man, this was the sum of all fears. And again, Boss is cleaning everything up, everything that was neglected. And even going back to the reflection pool and all that fun stuff, going back to Abraham Lincoln assassination, he was the first assassinated, which resulted in a military tribunal. So let's find out if that happens. A little future proofs past with that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And since they're spending a lot of time beautifying DC out here and listening to some of the street interviews coming out, that even the local residents saying it's safe enough that they can go and enjoy the day sitting out in front of these fountains, or the big one that goes, the Columbus Square one, that everybody's hanging out. They said that under the Trump administration, they never thought that DC could come to this place where they could actually go outside and be safe in an environment that they're supposed to grow up in. So I think this is showing more in California and DC and these big cities. Once we get rid of the gang members and the violence and the crime and all that society kind of returns back to normal. It comes back to that big thought process is you must show them. And I think the Democrats are seeing it, especially when they're starting to back a Republican candidate over there for mayor in California. This is great. Thoughts?
Safety is a wonderful thing, when you don't have it and you're always looking over your shoulder, and then all of a sudden you can walk down the street in peace. It's a big thing. And just imagine living in like the thick of Chirac, Chicago, where these people are, shooting each other up, where places where cops won't even go, right? Imagine living there, and then all of a sudden they take all the crime away. It's like people are going to notice that big time, and they are.
Exactly. The other thing that's coming out here, they're asking questions because Lovett's on vacation for the birth of the new kid. Good luck with her. And they did this.
Dr. Beckman.
Yep.
How long until we see your signature next to President Trump's face on a $250 bill?
Well, again, as Treasury Secretary, I have 2 mandates for U.S. currency. At present, no living person can be on U.S. currency, and the currency must say, "In God we trust." So right now there is proposed legislation that in front of the House, in front of the Senate, to change the first requirement so that a living person, Donald J. Trump, could be on the $250 bill. So it's all in the hands of the, it's all up on Capitol Hill. So at Treasury, we prepare things in advance, so we have prepared in advance that if the legislation is passed, but we will stick to the law.
That's interesting. I'll take one. I'd definitely take one.
Oh, for sure, dude. And that'll be a good indicator, dude. What do you think that vote coming through Congress and Senate's going to look like, Tron?
Yeah, well, the worst part is, maybe they're preparing for some sort of because when I see this, it reminds me of Zimbabwe, where they had those $1 trillion notes. Let's just slowly next 2028, we're gonna have the $1,000 bill again. And but this is cool again. Whether it comes through fruition, I don't know. We're still waiting for Fort Knox gold. to be allocated and accounted for. But I don't know, man. Boss is capable of anything, so this might actually happen. And remember, Steve Mnuchin's name was on the other bills before, and he was Mr. Movie Producer. So why not? The most entertaining outcome is the most likely. Let's do it. Inflationary.
Talk about central casting from that guy, dude. Yeah, we were amazed the amount of movies that guy was involved. But he seemed to do a good job over here. So we coming out with some 250 bills. Why not? It's only paper money anyways. As a kind of a refresher here, you want to take a crack at that, Mr. Space Shot?
Why, certainly. Individuals associated with the Trump administration who have recently faced cancer diagnoses. Pam Bondi, former Attorney General, diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Tulsi Gabbard, former DNI, resigned her role in order to care for her husband, who was battling an aggressive form of bone cancer. Vanessa Trump, ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr., who remains heavily associated with the political family, recently announced a breast cancer diagnosis. Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff, diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer and continues to work through her treatment. Wowza, huh?
Yeah, just as a reminder to kind of put that all into perspective of what we've seen, and things have changed over in the administration with people leaving out of the administration, because we've had 4 big cabinet members all leave, and normally underneath the other administrations, they hang out for a long period of time. Whether we're in the Scaramucci model or not, just interesting to watch the amount of positions that have changed hand. Go ahead.
Bondi is set to testify in a few days, I think, something regarding DOJ. So this is going to happen like tomorrow or the next, maybe tomorrow. I think I'm trying to find a date here, but she is going to make an appearance somewhere very soon.
Because Trump appointed her to the AI panel for the White House, put her back on a job to do something, but I didn't hear that she was giving testimony. It was definitely not going to be in the Senate because they're all on hiatus. They got sent home last week because they're not going to vote on that SAVE Act. I don't know where Congress is at this particular month itself, but I think this is their last week for the summer recess. So just as an FYI, I'd like to know where the hell she's going to be tomorrow if you want to take a look and try to figure that out.
Testifying in a House Oversight Committee on May 29th.
Ooh,
House, it's Congress.
Tomorrow.
Congress is rocking over there. So, Senate sent home. They got the extended vacation. Speaking about paymasters, we're going to spend a little bit right here with this gentleman right here. He is an interesting little thing that happened that we got a little surprise on. An endorsement from Radcliffe.
This morning, questions being raised after $40 million worth of gold bars were found inside the home of a former senior CIA official who's now accused of lying about his past. Federal agents say they raided the Virginia home of David Rush and uncovered more than 300 gold bars, along with millions of dollars in cash and dozens of luxury watches. Court documents describe Rush as a, quote, former senior executive service level employee with a top secret security clearance. An affidavit says he had requested the gold for, quote, work-related expenses.
It's really sort of unbelievable if he spent any time at all at the CIA, and it sounds like he did, that he could have basically fooled them for all of this time.
The same affidavit claims Rush misled the CIA since joining the agency around 2009, claiming to have a bachelor's degree from Clemson and a master's degree from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and claiming to have been a pilot in the Navy. But an investigation found no record of Rush attending either of those schools and found no evidence he'd even been a pilot.
Those are just such obvious glaring holes.
The affidavit says Rush was in the Navy and was honorably discharged in 2015, but since then claimed hundreds of hours of paid time off, allegedly collecting $77,000 he did not earn. He's now charged with theft of public funds. The CIA saying, quote, we continue to investigate this matter fully. We are committed to following the facts and pursuing justice in accordance with the law.
So this is an example of shot across the bow, in my opinion, of this gentleman getting caught up into this particular operation, because these things are not exposed at all. They are a intelligence stagecraft that they use to control foreign markets and foreign adversaries with money and gold and those sort of things without being off the books themselves. So he could request all this gold. He just needs to tell them, hey, I used it for this particular operation because we're going to overthrow this government. We paid these militias. We bought those guns, paid these drug dealers off. That's normally what this stuff is used for. But unfortunately, that didn't seem to pass the sniff test on the stuff that he was saying to them. So they checked into his background, and hanging out since 2009 and being in a position of being a paymaster so you could facilitate these black arts. This is interesting, and I think we're going to see more of these coming out of Radcliffe because normally these are swept underneath the rug, and you don't hear about this stuff. Thoughts?
That's crazy. And I mean, dude, what would you need 303? Is 303 gold bars, 2 million cash, and what was it, $30-40 million worth of stuff? You would think they would be like,
heavy is that?
Yeah, you'd think they would watch that, pretty closely. But it seems to me he had the impression that it wouldn't be missed, right? And so it's like, how much money and things are these guys working with?
Well, you ask for it as a piecework. Oh, I need this for that work, this work, or this for that work, and as you go along. But when they go and check out your background and seeing that this stuff is not holding together and they're not seeing the results in the countries they need to, they start asking questions. And if it doesn't line up, Radcliffe was endorsing this guy. They're saying this was started in March last year and then went all the way through December when they closed the investigation, decided to charge him. We're just finding out about now. So that takes, 4 to 6 months before it leaks back out into our side of the system itself. But what was the other piece over here? Go ahead.
I'm just saying it's crazy. It seems quite brazen. And to me, it seems like he thought, nobody will miss this. But to us, it's a lot of money and it's a lot of product or a lot of weight as well.
He was also
probably,
go ahead.
If you remember, I mean, he's probably a scapegoat that is a holder. And you have to imagine that the CIA, imagine what Pompeo said previously. This is what they do. Like, this is not necessarily a surprise. So the fact that we have this in mainstream is awesome because it points and paints a picture that the CIA is corrupt. I mean, they came, they saw, they went. This is bad. Scatter into 1,000 wind. And again, going back to the gold. This is what Bush did back in Iraq for how many years? I mean, just totally usurping it and moving it around. So this is actually normal, but again, the fact that it's out there is fantastic.
Yeah, so remember, it's in McLean, Virginia, home of the CIA, and he was a senior executive level person. So he's a SES person that was also employed by the CIA at the same time. So he gets to float around for a little bit, did not have much people watching him. So, he had a bunch of watches, normally a good way to pay people off.
The same watch that is on the ICE agent that we just saw a few hours ago, I saw. It's actually called a Hulk watch, Hulk.
Which one's
I'll have
that?
to drop it. Department of War dropped a...
Is it this watch, this green one?
Yeah, he dropped that exact green one. So this ICE agent was wearing a watch. Yeah, right here. Let me drop it for you in the chat. And then the Department of War picked it up and was like, and then they dropped it as well. And I was like, wait a minute, that's a really expensive watch. And people were like, that's a $20,000 Rolex Hulk watch, right there, dude.
Oh yeah, and the We the People right there with it.
Mm-hmm. And the Department of War took a screenshot of that individual, and it says "Defend the Homeland." Let me drop you this one.
That's Pete Hegseth.
What's interesting. Well,
he's just incognito.
Wrong body, but right. That right.
Yeah, I see it right there.
There it is, and that's what the Department of it was Homeland Security actually grabbed that. So they took a screenshot from there and put it into their tweet with the green.
Oh yeah, they did do that, huh?
So they took a screenshot and made it a crown for every achievement. And he's wearing those Punisher kind of skull gloves, which should be fingerless, nevertheless. But there's that Rolly, that green.
Huh. I don't know what these guys are doing. I had to pull it together. Interesting for this paymaster gentleman here. Let's see what else comes out of it, since Radcliffe's under the control of somewhat of the CIA, even though they were monitoring and took in boxes from Tulsi Gabbard, the 40 boxes of MK Ultra and the JFK files. So just putting that on the list. And just as a reminder, as we're talking about gold bars and stuff, Gold Bar Menendez, remember, he was sentenced to a bunch of years in jail.
The Wild West of political
Just as a reminder.
President Trump is right.
Supposedly, he got gold bars from Iran because he was being influenced by them and Qatar, and got some free rides and those sort of things. Yeah, all over the place. Yeah. So, yeah, him and the wife both got busted.
He got a ticket to ride. And the funny thing is, he was talking about what right there? He's like, oh, it's Wild West of like fraud around here. It's like, oh, God. The worst. Pretty much. I wanted to throw this out really quick, just as body cam footage come out from the people that were missing over here, the UFO stuff. And, this is just body cam footage of the wife talking to the officers there, bypassing anything from the 911 call and those sort of things. I just thought this was damn interesting. If we're talking all about aliens and stuff, more of this stuff starts to come back out. Just going to play a little bit of this because, the detail.
He's very, very active physically and has always had a very sharp mind, retired Major General from PhD from MIT.
Oh, wow.
And he's been feeling brain fog. Please, have a
What is his name?
His name is William Neal McCaslin. He goes by Neil, N-E-I.
Maybe put a bullet in that.
Yeah. So anyway, today he was quite down and kind of clingy, which is unusual. And I had a doctor's appointment. I remember looking at my car clock. I backed out at 11:10. And I was back by around noon, and he was gone. And I found his...
Said he changed shirt. He took a gun with him. Don't know what gun he took. This is just really weird, especially there's another camp footage that came out just talking about this situation where they go talk to like an ex-coworker of his and he starts rattling off everything all about him. And I'm like, dude, that's really weird just to be rattling off all this information about this particular person, about the whereabouts and the daily habits and those sort of things. It's just this whole situation with these missing people over some of the strangest stuff I've seen in a long time. And we're still dancing around disclosure that we were supposed to see like 4 weeks ago that Trump had said to have Pete Hegseth, the DOD, start with D-class. And we haven't seen any of that yet. So I don't know exactly what's going on and don't know exactly where to put it.
It's like a buffet. You get a little taste of everything. It comes in, it goes out. The attention span in 2026 is only like 5 days maximum. So it comes in, it comes out. The files go in, they come out. This is how it's going to be for the next couple of months until November. And then we have that 2-year push between November and 2028 where we just go absolutely mad. At least that's the way I hope to see it. So just more, a little bit more patience. 8.5 years, 9-year deltas coming up in October. We're ready for it.
Oh, yeah, decos. 10-year deltas?
No, dude.
Yes.
I put a clip in there. I don't know if you want to play it or not. It's about 50 seconds, but this guy has a pretty interesting take on what may have happened with this guy, or I could explain it in 20 seconds. Either one.
Disclosure agreement that you literally cannot believe, because I have done it. I have signed these non-disclosure agreements on WooSat programs. They contain, if you do not follow these rules, you hereby waive every constitutional right you have, and in the end, we are allowed to take any sanction we wish. Any sanction.
Delete you off the face of the earth.
Gone. Until in this case, I believe that he had a specific thing that was going on. With all these secrets in his head, he began showing signs of dementia. And so he would be one that would be picked up and taken away and taken care of in a private, secret facility. That is my belief, knowing what I know.
So he went to UFO, like old folks home, or they just kind of give him the Canada treatment?
NASA hospice. NASA old folk home. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if he's starting to get scatterbrained and, I don't know, that's what they're reporting. But if indeed that's the case, he's got all these secrets. You don't want him to bump into some dude at the, at the coffee shop and be like, oh, hey, by the way, we got, 10 versions of this bipod and aliens are real. And it's like, okay, so they keep up on this. And I'm wondering about the other missing ones, right, too? Like, because if they're mentally capable and all fine, were some of these people talking perhaps to other people? Were they taken off the, reservation or taken off the playing field, so to speak, so they can't talk about it with other people? Who knows if we'll ever get that answer.
New York Post is reporting here. Whistleblower claims the CIA uses DNA data from Ancestry and 23andMe customers in search for aliens. They're looking for the bloodline. We talked about that before, right, Tron?
You can't go to Mars. You can't go to Mars unless you have that bloodline, because the inhabitants of Mars right now, ever since the 80s, they're not going to accept us unless we're part of them. It's almost like a border issue. It's almost like, oh, wait a minute, you didn't come in legally. You have to have a little bit of that DNA. And this is where we're going to have a Bill of Rights. We're going to have a constitution for Mars, because if you don't have the alien DNA, and this goes all the way back to X-Files, Agent Mulder and Scully, boom time, baby. But again, dude, like this is mixes in religion. And I don't know if we're ready for this yet, man. We're still trying to figure out who won the elections in the last 8 years. And now they're throwing us Ancestry, 23andMe, which went out of business. And that whole idea back then was they were going to sell us medication and cures based on our ancestral DNA. So now they throw in the alien thing, and it's like, man, it's almost like our narrative in 26 is taking the psyops from the past and manifesting them into these little cameos to give us a glimpse of what they had in store for us. It's fascinating, actually.
I don't know where it's going to go. It's getting crazy, though. I think the cadence or the rhythm that this is happening is only increasing. It's just more chaos as fast as it can go full throttle.
Sure is. And dude, what about COVID swabs? Right? If you didn't send your DNA into 23andMe or Ancestry or these other places, they may have got you in a COVID test or swab, nose check, whatever.
Dude, what if the COVID shot gave you the alien DNA? Right? Because the one guy's like, well, we can identify it kind of. Yeah, we can kind of do a test on it. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, what's this graphene oxide? They might go that route, dude. Like that's kind of,
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Just to finish off the alien stuff out there, NASA officially unveiled their master plan for a permanent moon base on the lunar South Pole, and they've already talked about their windows to bring stuff up there and building items, and from 2032 and beyond, because Elon Musk is going to be a big part of this, of getting the big chunks of up there in 2028 is their plan. And then Blue Horizon, which is Amazon and Jeff Bezos and all those guys, just had they're going to bring up the little vehicles, the little golf cart looking things. And they just had a test fire right here, and their success is just masterful here.
Oh, that's definitely not Rocket Lab, yeah. And that's another thing, dude, like the space sector. Boss mentioned the ballroom having a drone capability on the roof. And then what happened in the next few days? They announced that the government's going to start financing American drone companies, kind of like what they did with Intel. And all the drone companies saw a 70% increase in the last few days. I mean, Boss is pretty much telling us. And then he mentioned, buy yourself a Dell. Dell is up 50-60% overnight right now. It's like $100 a share increase in one night. Wow. So again, follow Boss, man. And it's hilarious how you just got to pay attention a little bit.
Wasn't the Dell family the one that donated a bunch of money to the Trump accounts? If I remember right.
Those are the Trump accounts, and Boss like, buy a Dell, and now the stock is just on fire, dude.
Yeah, speaking on fire, this happened about an hour ago, in case anybody's wondering.
Did it really?
Speaking
yes.
on fire.
Oh, with that lazy-eyed son of a bitch.
That just happened. Back into show feed stuff. Where are we getting at? Oh, yeah, we have to go back to right here. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, here. You want to read that for everybody from Jeff Clark, who lost his law license due to California buttheads. There's an investigation. You want to take a crack at that?
E. Jean Carroll, remember the crazy loon who used the NYPD episode to frame Trump for a sexual assault, is being investigated for crimes. And I think he may not be fully correct on this one, but we'll go forward. Anyways, as likely are entities or charities, yes, tied to Reid Hoffman, given that the investigation is being run out of Chicago. So in my opinion, it's more about Hoffman. But Hoffman funded Carroll's lawfare suit against President Trump. So I'll say something similar to what I just said about Fidelity funding Barfare against Todd Blanche. So basically, LinkedIn is funding nonsense like Carroll's suit. Companies or their principals are making money off ordinary Americans only to turn around and use it to try to thwart the political choices made by ordinary Americans. Meanwhile, you get lectures about democracy.
Here, take a crack at that one right there.
Regarding an investigation of E. Jean Carroll, she testified in a deposition under penalty of perjury that no third parties were funding her lawsuit against Trump. A civil deposition can itself be introduced as evidence in a trial. That's why the, quote, oath is significant. It is the same oath that a witness in a trial before a jury swears to. Suppose the investigation uncovers via grand jury subpoena or other process dozens of other text messages or emails back and forth between Carroll and Reid Hoffman in the days or weeks or in the time frame of the deposition discussing the money he was giving her to pay her attorneys. Maybe there was an understanding expressed that she would not confirm the fact in its deposition. Worth DOJ looking into, ? Or does perjury and a fraud on the court mean nothing? Looks like we might find out.
So, yeah, they found her lying. That's why they're going back after her again. Maybe under Blanche, we're seeing a difference.
Dude, she was so unbelievable as a witness, as a, the other side. How funny was that when she went on CNN, Anderson Cooper, and she started getting to all these fantasies and she was weird. And Anderson had to be like, yeah, we got to take a break right there. It completely fell absolutely apart. And again, another win for Boss Dude.
Speechless.
Yeah.
He was speechless.
Here. This is Brian Seltzer, CNN exclusive. The Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation into Carroll with the former magazine columnist who accused President Trump of the sexual assault, which he never had to pay out. It says, first, Trump weaponized the DOJ to target political enemies. Now, pervasively, he's targeting Jean Carroll, the woman who credibly and successfully sued him for sexual assault. Not rape. So he did say that correctly there. He's using the powers of the DOJ to go after his own victims. It's a vile attack on the rule of law. I can't even read the rest of the crap he's saying. Year end January 6th, bro.
We got the gang all back in town, dude. I haven't seen Stelter or Adam Schiff in a while, either of them. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy, dude. He's used, and again, dude, it's like Comey and Brennan and these other idiots going out there going, Trump's going after his political rivals, even though we've been investigating, his friggin' colon for the last 12 years. Like, oh, I can't believe he's doing this now. Like, yeah, wake up, idiots.
Exactly. What else do we got over here? Just to throw a little bit out here, just in case you don't know who this person is, this is her house.
I call it the mouse house because
just a little bit.
Some very distinguished mice live here. Kahneman lives in the kitchen. Taberski lives in the bedroom. This is my shed. And on that side are the books that most influenced me growing up. On the door are the lists of my dogs.
Yeah, nuts, lady.
This is what happened to the children of the corn back in the day. They live in the forest. They name their dogs after female body parts. Absolutely insane, dude. This held no water or weight since the beginning. Absolutely fascinating.
And they basically, and her cat named Vagina. That's right, Cyberspeed.
Yeah.
It's all these crazy things from these weird people that she had the fantasy about Trump and all that. So, that's coming back out. This would have been on my top of my list of things to throw out there, the DOJ and those guys to do, but we're here. Let's keep going. The other side of this system getting into, did you want to say something, Space Sean?
I was just laughing. At the whole scenario, but didn't she also have a pet named Tits as well?
That I'm not
pretty
sure of.
She did have, the vagina, and I think the other one was Tits. Just saying.
So we reported probably a month and a half ago, maybe almost two, that they were going after the influence operation, like the Reid Hoffman type of things, Antifa, start digging into those things. And people are starting to get a little panicked right now. Space Shot, you want to read that for everybody?
Certainly. Redditors have reached the FAFO stage. Bloomberg reports, quote, the U.S. Justice Department is seeking the names, addresses, and banking information of Reddit and X users, ratcheting up efforts to identify social media critics of government deportation efforts. Gee, do you think they were just, quote, critics like Bloomberg makes them out to be? Because later in the article, their own lawyers say, quote, their lawyers believe the investigations could relate to allegations of revealing a federal officer's location data or other types of perceived threats, but dispute that their clients committed crimes. So basically, these people were doxing, putting officers in danger, or outright threatening them. Funny how the article buries that. Yeah.
So they're asking for information on this group, these groups that are over here facilitating these types of operations. So like a Patriot Front or like an Antifa group, any one of those things. QAnon, I mean, almost. I mean, it could if it was a different style of operation coming out of the administration. I'm just saying those are the things that they're going after. So we just got to be careful where we're at in the operation itself. We don't get caught up into this stuff doing something stupid. That's the big thing.
Too late.
Can't advocate violence, right?
Oh, hell no. And it's just ridiculous. But this is par for the course, right? This is exactly what they do, right? It's like, oh no, they're going after their political rivals. But wait, you were putting officers in danger and threatening them and attacking them essentially, right? Oh, well, yeah. It's like they think that we're dumb or we have no memory is what it is.
Yeah, we don't remember. The other thing here, former Joe Biden has filed a lawsuit against his Justice Department to block the release of the audio recordings of the transcripts tied to the interviews conducted by biographer Mark, I don't even know his last name, which later became part of the classified documents investigation against him. The lawsuit seeks to prevent the nearly 70 hours of interviews conducted between 16 and 17 for the Biden memoir, Promise Me Dad, which this information was also used in with the Chow, the investigation from the DOJ that basically said, yeah, he's too old and feeble that we're not going to even prosecute him whatsoever. And they let him off the hook off of there. You guys, so they're going back and wanted to pull the information from that book. That's going to get interesting. We always know about book deals.
Oh, God, yeah. And 70 hours of interviews. How many, mistakes or pieces of classified information did he let slip? Or, I mean, who the hell is that guy right there?
Or how many boxes you left behind his Mustang in the garage.
Yeah. That was a Corvette. That was a Corvette green.
Corvette. Yeah, Jill Biden made it to the stage front again. Let's throw this out here.
Oh, God.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified. I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Before or since? Never.
Or since?
Yes. Or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that?
No.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the... And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Were you...
Remember, they took him out for ice cream afterwards and did that whole photo op right after that.
No
Yeah.
one watch Rocky, like the movie series. I mean, you throw in the towel. Your husband's out there having a stroke. No one goes out there and saves him. Like literally a pawn and a puppet willing to die on the world stage. This is, man, dude, this is kayfabe. This is it, man. This is entertaining. Are you not entertained? I mean, how does this happen right now? Like, this is, man, dude. And then Hunter Biden comes back on X. He's doing interviews with that piece of shit, Candace.
Social media is just so great, isn't it? I mean, the amount of bullshit soup that we have to sit through every week just to figure out what the hell is going on, and
That's our
let
job
alone
to navigate through this, right?
and the amount of bullshit that's on Twitter itself is just, it's ungodly stupid. Oh, you don't know how many times I have to go through and says date of broadcast. Oh, this was 9 months ago. Oh, this was a month and a half ago. Oh,
Yeah,
everything's
everyone
always
does
breaking.
that. They screenshot a video without including a timestamp, and it's like, that was from 9 months ago, and they get us.
I know one account that you
They
can
get
go
me
to
sometimes.
Every day you'll find the most ridiculous stuff, but people keep following the dude.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get Solomon in here that keeps telling us about how great the baby is. We got a couple of things to cover with him.
I think there's a tranche of documents that Tulsi Gabbard needs from OMB. If you listen in Russ Vote, pay attention to this. This is important. There is concern that Ukraine was involved in a 2024 scheme to take a large federal grant that was given to Ukraine and launder it back to the Biden 2024 campaign. We're not talking about Hunter Biden grift in 2014. We're talking contemporaneously in 2024. The evidence of whether that occurred or not sits in OMB's files because OMB is currently running the U.S. Agency for International Development. If she can get those documents, she could make a criminal referral to the FBI. Thus far, she doesn't have those documents. So I hope Russ Vote jumps into action pretty quickly. I think.
So this is outside of the whole FTX breakdown with the cryptocurrency, taking the money from Ukraine into FTX and then laundering it into ActBlue. We're still waiting for that particular investigation to come back around. And then because that was before the elections. And then this is talking about lately as 2024 came around before Biden ran office, that they were trying to get some more money out of the Ukraine situation itself. So this is showing up in emails and different connections like that. So let's see if this holds anything out. So I don't know where to put it. We're still waiting for investigations to finish. You guys want to throw anything else out?
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. They were, we're getting pushback on this stuff, right? And they're kind of pushing back and forth, and they're trying to hide information and whatever. And so what I would say due to this whole thing and what is being exhibited, not only in President Trump's first administration, but up until this very day, was a question, in my opinion, that was asked by the team years ago. What must be completed to engage military intelligence over three-letter agencies? I said, I don't know. Maybe you need to show that these three-letter agencies are all corrupt and trying to take out the President of the United States. Maybe that would be the answer. And I think they've done a good job of proving how corrupt they are, for sure.
That I will agree with you 100%. How we're going to turn the ship around, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure we'll eventually get there. Here's the other part he was saying you guys had dropped to me. I didn't get a chance to listen to it.
Tulsi's going to go out in a blaze of glory in her final month because she will be able to release in succession some extraordinary evidence of foreign interference in our election in 2020 and since. The intelligence community has known a lot more about active measures from China and Iran and other enemies that it did not make public. Instead, it gave intelligence community gave the Americans a false sugar pill saying that the 2020 election was the most secure in history. She will systematically destroy that narrative. Now, I think she'll be briefing senators soon on states whose voter databases were penetrated by China. That could move the needle on some of these senators voting for the Save America Act. I think there's a tranche of documents that Tulsi Gabbard needs from OMB. If you listen in Russ Vote, pay attention to this. This is important. There is concern that Ukraine was involved in a 2024 scheme to take a large federal grant that was given to Ukraine and launder it back to the Biden 2024 campaign. We're not talking about Hunter Biden grift in 2014. We're talking contemporaneously in 2024. The evidence of whether that occurred or not sits in OMB's files because OMB is currently running the U.S. Agency for International Development. If she can get those documents, she could make a criminal referral to the FBI. Thus far, she doesn't have those documents. So I hope Russ Vote jumps into action pretty quickly. The third thing, so those are the foreign interference things. You could have cheating a U.S. taxpayer money going to Joe Biden's campaign. That's what the intercepts that we talked about a month ago showed. The proof of that, and I've even talked to some U.S. intelligence community sources who are familiar with what they believe happened here. The proof of that is sitting in USAID records currently in Russ Vought's possession. The second part of this is what the FBI is doing. Sometimes you don't get a mobster for being a mobster. You get them on taxes or you get them on some other violation. The election workers down at the state levels who changed the rules of election from what their legislatures mandated in Wisconsin, in Georgia, in Arizona can be criminally prosecuted if they did so knowingly and willingly, meaning that the legislature said you should do X, but you ran the election this way because that's what you wanted to do. That is what the FBI is beginning to interview people day in and day out doing. And if they build enough evidence with these workers that instructions were given contrary to what the legislator's intent was, you will have a full-blown cheating scandal. The cheating will be they didn't conduct the election the way the law said. That's a little different than what people thought. It's not machines flipping votes, but it's still a form of cheating. It's still depriving the American public of a fair election. Yep. That's where the FBI is going. And yesterday, there was a big win in North Carolina. It isn't getting the attention it deserves. North Carolina bureaucrats in the election regime wanted to start registering people who had never set foot in North Carolina and didn't live in California. In North Carolina. They wanted to give them voter registration status even though they don't live in the state. A judge said that is ludicrous. But those are some of those bureaucratic deep state power moves that are cheating elections. A judge beat that back.
Well, isn't that special, Mr. John Solomon? Tulsi Gabbard's last hurrah there. I thought I had the other side of that video too with him. I thought I did.
He's going out in a blaze of glory. I think that's what we're going to talk about.
It's coming up here because there's more things going on in Fulton County down in Georgia. Some people are panicking down there. We'll just go through the rest of the shuffle as I got them. This is an interesting thing just to pay attention to. It says 9-0 Supreme Court rules that last mile delivery drivers are transportation workers entitled to sue for unpaid wages and overtime hours, allowing class action lawsuits against Baking Good Company. Here's looking at you, Mr. Amazon, because none of those drivers work for Amazon. They're third-party vendors and all those type of workers like that. Just put that in the back of your head now, because the Supreme Court just ruled on that, and that might get a little interesting. A little side note there for everybody. Here, federal judge Carl Nichols has denied the preliminary injunction for 3 suits seeking to block President Trump's March executive order requiring citizenship verification to register to vote. That's what they're talking about. Those 3 courts all came together, tried to throw that thing over, and they're like, no, that ain't going to happen. So they're trying to overthrow Trump's executive order, and the federal judge blocked it. So we don't even have to mess with the Supreme Court. So what is CNN actually saying? They're telling us the truth again, guys. This is interesting.
Happening now in Atlanta and elsewhere in Fulton County, Georgia, some poll workers and ballot counters from the 2020 presidential election could soon hear a knock on their doors. Federal prosecutors say when they have the names and the addresses of those election workers, investigators will try to talk to them. President Trump has long claimed without evidence that there was widespread voter fraud in Fulton County, and that contributed to his re-election loss to Joe Biden. Let's go live right now to CNN crime and justice correspondent Caitlin Polance, who's working the story for us. Caitlin, is the Justice Department going to get all these lists of election workers and their addresses?
Well, Wolf, that's going to be the big question in court. We're still waiting to see what a judge will do. What has happened here is that the Justice Department, they've made clear they want to reopen and ask questions again about what happened in the 2020 election, especially in Fulton County, Georgia. That's the county that includes Atlanta, that Joe Biden won by more than 2/3 of the more than 500,000 votes there. It was a real wash of an election for Biden there. But Trump really does want to continue to say that the 2020 election was rigged. And now the Justice Department, they're going after thousands of names and addresses of these 2020 election workers. At a hearing last week, that was where the judge was hearing about why the Justice Department actually may want these things. This election happened 6 years ago. That's out of the time frame where the Justice Department could bring voting-related federal criminal charges if they even would get to that point with a grand jury. And a prosecutor there, his name is Will McComb, he said, "We are not sure what charges can be brought." And then he told the judge, "We don't know what they will tell us as far as what happened or what improprieties may or may not have happened in the 2020 election, and whether that is a continuing situation in this current election cycle or in the next election cycles for the Fulton County Board." But what the Justice Department is also saying is they just want to go out, knock on doors, potentially interview these ballot workers and poll workers. The judge, though, is looking at this. Is it a fishing expedition? And is this way too broad of a request? We're waiting to see what happens in this federal court proceeding.
It smells like RICO to me, boys and girls, is what I'm looking at here. The whole Ruby Freeman and all those guys that were facilitating the fraud that was happening in there. And this includes the Secretary of State, Rathesberger, too, all at the same time. And remember, this is on top of the FBI already having 200 boxes from Fulton County that they're currently going through, and now want to start asking questions to the poll workers. So, yeah. Anybody got Ruby Freeman's address? We send him over there first.
CNN is like disgusted they have to announce this, piece of news. And whatever that Austin Powers over here looks like Schumer's wife, dude. What is that? And going back to that glass theory, dude, that's a man baby. He got them dark glasses on, all thick like Drew Carey, ready to spin that wheel on Price is Right.
The price is wrong.
Bitch. It's a man baby.
What else do we got here into the election? Okay, so since we have a whole bunch of mixed match going along with the different states over there that all seem to have a problem of losing Democrat seats, that's basically what we're running into. Some of the legislators trying to get their particular map through the door and stamped by the Supreme Court faster than the ones that they're trying to do the redistricting on. And Judge Thomas declines to basically do that for the legislator in Alabama, and told him to sit down for a minute, and is requesting the rest of the people to hurry your ass up so we get this thing done. So those are good things that are happening in the Supreme Court, because it falls underneath Thomas' jurisdiction that's there, because that's who he resides over, is making good decisions, and hopefully we can still hold on to as many seats as we can. We can get those 12 or higher seats that we really need to get, but we're not going to get as many as we can get. We're going to lose about 4 or 5 easily. So those are coming. What else do we got? Missouri Supreme Court upheld the state's decision too. So they can't be messing around with that. They go all red, which is interesting, because the other thing is the My Pillow guy running for Minnesota, right?
The great state of Minnesota.
So they're doing their debate tonight. So yeah, it's pretty much a landslide. There's a whole lot of support behind him to keep him going. So he's very happy in the position he's at and the direction the fraud is going, because it just makes his case a lot stronger.
When are we gonna get some sort of a boss endorsement? Because I don't that's kind of big. Where's that at? It's gonna come soon, I think.
Yeah, because we all know that what's his name? Walz is not running. Since all the fraud came out, he decided not to run. So yeah, we got a whole change about. So he's leading over there. What else we got? Ken Paxton. We'll get a couple of words from him because he got his endorsement over Cornyn, and he's out.
I feel speechless in a way, but they're not going to let me do that. Wow. To the people in this room, to the people watching at home, and to the people of the great state of Texas, tonight, we just made history. I want to thank my family, my kids, my grandchildren, the Paxton Patriots, and every single person here today. Without your love, your support, and your prayers, we would not be here tonight celebrating this incredible victory. I'd also like to thank all of the grassroots, local, state.
Yeah, he's just going to do the stump speech. But there's very few people out there like a Trump or like a Paxton that does carry an audience of supporters himself, just like Boss does, which I find very interesting. Just not being a party supporter, they're actually a supporter of Paxton himself, who is the Attorney General, has done a whole bunch of work over there with the Supreme Court, making different decisions. Remember, he was also impeached for a little bit of time. He went through a divorce, and that almost got all leaked out. So he's had a real wild time going over there in Texas, and is leading to keep the Senate seat away from John Cornyn, who has been a rhino, and he's basically out the door. So since Trump endorsed him, this is turning out pretty big for Ken Paxton, which you got to remember, they spent the most money ever on a primary race in Texas on Cornyn. That's a crap load of money.
Of course they did, because they wanted to keep his powerful position in there. And thankfully, he's gone. Kenny Cross-Eyed Paxton's going to be in there. I had no idea his eyes, one looks straight, one looks off to the left.
Yeah, he got that Forrest Whitaker. This is what happens when you take Dayquil and NyQuil at the same time. Continue on, Hulk.
Just to make sure you know who he's running against is Terry. How do you say his last name?
Talarico.
This is who he's running against. It's a fake.
Are you okay with voter ID? So voter ID is currently required in the state of Texas. I opposed having to. How about for mail-in ballots? How about having to send your ballot in? Should you have to prove who you are? Because that's what Democrats are opposing. Pete, I just said I oppose voter ID. Currently, it's the law in Texas, but I oppose that law because I think you don't need an ID. Voter ID? You don't think the most sacred obligation of our republic, you should have to prove who you are in order to vote? So there are a lot of Texans, actually hundreds of thousands, who don't have a driver's license. Are you okay?
Yeah, enough with him. Yeah, so that's who he's running against.
My pros voter ID. Yeah, he's Mr. I believe in 14 genders and whatever, LMNOP, Q++, X, HIV.
Out of all the Democrats that are out there, I'm hearing that this gentleman is the squeaky clean version of the Democrats that are out there. And some of the people were surprised they were even trying to go after him to smear him in Texas down there. I didn't even know who he was there at that point, like a couple of months ago when I was figuring out how this race was going to turn out. So just things to think about. He's not totally a bad guy, but he is going against our guy. And unfortunately, Chip Roy is losing for Attorney General. So he is not going to be able to pick up that spot. The Miles or whatever, Middleton is going to be your pick for the Attorney General to replace Paxton. They're going to do the runoff. So, yeah. Doesn't look good for Mr. Roy. He's out. I don't think he's a member of Congress right now. I think he's out at the end of January, right?
Roy, I'm not sure on him, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I liked him. Was he a rhino there, Contreras? I mean,
a little bit, yes.
Yeah, he definitely chirped up a little bit a couple of years ago, but to be honest with you, I haven't really seen much out of him in the last year or so.
Yeah, will not run for another term in Congress. He's out. Roy Soy. President Trump dunks on Looney. Tia suffering Al Green with an epic one-liner. He's out. This guy is out. He's no longer going to be there. So that's official. That guy is gone. Who else is going to lose out here? Bill Cassidy. He's out the door too. So yeah, two big people fighting against Trump and doing the whole Trump impeachment and all that are out the door. So this is going to get interesting over there in Congress with some of these recent changes out there. And Brian Donaldson got an endorsement. You want to read that for everybody?
I would love to. Byron Donalds, he's awesome. I am incredibly honored to earn the trust and endorsement of President Donald J. Trump. I will never stop fighting for the state of Florida. He's running for governor of Florida, a state that I love, and won big in 2016, 2020, and 24. I know Byron well and have seen him tested at the highest and most difficult levels, and he's a total winner. Wow, even though he's black, I thought Trump was like wicked racist. Byron has a great wife, Erica, and 3 beautiful sons. They're very proud of him. As governor, Byron will have a big voice and work closely with me to advance our America First agenda. He will fight tirelessly to help keep our border secure, stop migrant crime, strengthen our military, protect our veterans, advance American energy dominance, cut taxes and regulations, promote Made in the USA, and defend our always under siege Second Amendment. Byron Donalds will be a truly great and powerful governor for Florida, and he has my total complete and total endorsement, he will now not let you down. Hulk, is what's his name done, or has he hit his limit there? DeSantis or whatever?
Yes,
Governor.
yeah, he'll be out the door. They were celebrating doing no taxes on real estate for retired people.
Property.
Yep, property tax. So that's totally awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Byron Donalds is a complete patriot, and there's a new slide out there that he's a criminal. He did all kinds of bad stuff. Yeah, at age 18, he had possession of marijuana and distribution. He did a little side, little entrepreneurship. So again, like whatever is done in the past, that was 25 plus years ago. He's loyal. He's MAGA. He's black, which is, we need that in MAGA. We need more of that. Ben Carson's kind of on the sideline and whatnot, but we need more of that in MAGA. And I think that Florida loves him too. Florida loves Byron. I like Byron. And if you've ever watched his speeches, I mean, powerful dude. He's got it. He's complete.
That's good. Hopefully they can make it. It seems like Florida's doing pretty well with the amount of people over there. They're going to add 4 more seats over there to Florida with the amount of people that have joined that state out there. So they'd be up like 24 seats, which is interesting. So yeah, good job for them. And just take a look at the total numbers here. This is obviously Fox, so we got to take it with a grain of salt.
Races and Senate races. This is his scorecard, okay? He has endorsed 8 governors. Now, some of these races weren't real close, didn't have a lot of competition, but some of them did. I mean, we saw what happened in Louisiana, the primary of Bill Cassidy. We saw what happened a week ago tonight with Tom Massey in Kentucky. And now we're seeing it again tonight, okay, in Texas. Governor level, Trump endorsed 8. He won 8 times. U.S. House, 101 endorsed. He won 101 endorsed in the House, and he won 101. Let me put on the pencil right here and show you this. U.S. Senate, Sean, he has endorsed 8 candidates. And prior to tonight, he had won 8 times. And now you can take the endorsement from 8 to 9 endorsed, and from 8 to 9 winner. Ken Paxton was outspent 9-1. Got the endorsement from Trump, got the endorsement of Wesley Hunt, the congressman who got knocked out 2.5 months ago. And now we got the setup in Paxton of Tellerico. Many Republicans felt if John Cornyn could win tonight, that he could be an easy winner over Tellerico. We'll never know that now. And a lot of Republicans felt that they could save a lot of money too if Cornyn won. But that did not happen. Here's what will happen, Sean, in November. In Texas, probably the most expensive Senate race that we have seen ever. I mean, we were looking at some of the numbers, races.
Damn, they're going to spend some money down there in Texas. Holy crap.
Important.
Does it even get to the very bottom?
Hulk, think it's time for a Rumble Wallet, buddy. Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
Real quick. Let's just do a little excursion here.
Let me just hit the button over here really quick and give a...
I was just went, holy
crap. I just got to refresh the whole page.
Actually, while you're doing that, your refresh, let me thank very quickly Jay Back. Thank you for the $10 Rumble rant. Says, hello all, great conversation. Thank you, gentlemen. Where we go one, we go all. Heart emoji and a much love all. Followed up by D Starboy, gifted out 5 subscriptions to the channel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. That's not a gun. Ooh. Oh wait, that's your belt. What do we say? Something's digging into me. Not my gun. Okay, Hulk, you guys good?
Yeah, I got a regular Rumble wallet, yeah.
Okay, Rumble wallet it is. Ding.
Come on, Sean! Come on, Sean!
Break for 30 seconds.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of the bank holding your money, delaying your transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you've felt that problem. Now fast forward to today. Everybody's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your own wallet, Tap buy and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Boom. Boom.
Commercial! Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
Dude,
All right, we're back.
I still can't get over that whole thing with the 300 gold bars. Like, yeah, we need 300 gold bars for this operation here, and you know.
No, it's over a period of time that he collected that. Don't think that that was one big giant order. He's a paymaster, so over time, like they do operations, and like we're gonna go do this operation. I'm gonna need, you know, like $2 million. Well, here's some gold. Go take this and some cash. And then over the course of his usage of the system, being in the position, that's one thing I couldn't find out how long he had been in that position, but it had been quite a long time for to get into that position to be the paymaster, be controlling, you know, one of those super high-end CIA guys. And then over the course of the time, they started doing the budgets and, you know, going back and going, well, these operations are not paying out. And you find a bunch of them out there that are not coming to fruition. You're not getting your answer. They start asking questions, and they checked into his background and realized he lied about a bunch of stuff.
Ooh, so he was squirreling it away for years, apparently.
Philly Q gifted one subscription to the channel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Q the Hammer, for subbing a couple gifts out there. Appreciate it, guys.
I'll be 30 seconds away from bathroom quick.
Yeah, not a problem out here. We're going to just drop by California over here for a quick second with Spencer Pratt saying some important things.
Independent or a Democrat. Rick Caruso seems like a Republican, but ran as a Democrat. How are you running?
Yeah, thankfully, it's a nonpartisan race, so I don't have to be either. I have
What are you?
I'm a registered Republican, but my supporters are all Democrats because Los Angeles is all Democrats. All the people financing me are Democrats. All the meetings I take every day are Democrats. Democrats are very angry with what happened to Los Angeles. They were fed a bunch of lies by Mayor Bass, who said she was going to literally solve homelessness. She was going to do all these things she didn't do. So all of the people that put her actually in office are now behind me. So it's a nonpartisan race. There's no letter next to either of our names because the mayor is not supposed to represent a party. They're supposed to make sure your moms are safe, your houses don't burn down, and your tax money is going to your infrastructure, not to fund drug addicts. So thankfully, I have Republicans that love me. I have Democrats that love me. I have independents that love me. Even some socialists message me and they're like, hey, don't be so mean to us. We like you too. I'm like, sorry, I don't mess with socialists.
Right, yeah. Independent.
So early voting there, because they're going to be picking up the two runner-ups out there, is very, very slow, and not a lot of people are active in that LA mayor's race. Not surprising. It's an off season, so they're still fighting back and forth with that. So he has a really good chance. He's only like 2 points behind Bass.
I thought he was like 40 points behind. I thought she was 60 and he was 20.
No, it's split up. He's like 24 and she's like 26 or something. So the numbers are changing, but if the other guy drops out, then his worth is going to go well up to like 30% or so instantly when the other Republican drops out. So we'll see if we can save LA, because we got Olympics and a whole bunch of soccer coming here very shortly. Oh yeah, here, just to throw this out here, dude, I thought this is absolutely crazy, and it passed. I went and looked.
California State Assembly member Carl DeMaio here with yet another bad bill alert from Sacramento. This one would give preferential sentencing treatment to illegal immigrants. In other words, citizens would be judged harsher than people here illegally. It's Assembly Bill 2669, and you should take a look at it because it says when a prosecutor is deciding whether or how much to charge an illegal immigrant, that they are now going to be required to take into account the possible impacts it might have on the illegal immigrant if they're charged with the crime as it relates to their ability to stay in this country. Insane.
Crazy shit. They passed it. It's already good to go. Yay. So yeah. Oh, that's Prop 36. That's the other one over here. The other thing is they want to Oh, yeah. This is the AB 10 loopholes of retail theft. So the retail theft for they're trying to circumvent a prop that we put in there that everybody voted on 2 years ago to go ahead and prosecute these people that are stealing $500 worth of stuff. You need to prosecute them, just not let them get back out of jail. So they're also trying to put in a new bill before this thing goes even into law to circumvent it. That's how the Democrats think in California itself, because the law is coming up and they don't want to jail all these people because that costs money, because we want to close prisons in California's plan. The other thing over here was this look at what he also wants to do here, just because the election's coming up.
So I just signed a law to protect our elections, to make sure that we are conducting a fair, free election without fear of intimidation. Everything Donald Trump is trying to do to vandalize truth, to vandalize trust, to rig the election requires vigilance and it requires resolve. And with this law, California is leading to provide the kind of clarity that's...
Yeah, he actually didn't tell us what the hell he's talking about. Prohibits law enforcement and armed personnel from guarding polling places, makes it illegal for law enforcement agencies to seize ballots from election offices, because the sheriff over here in my area got in trouble for doing that, and Ron Bonta is going after him right now, the Attorney General. Requires law enforcement to obtain warrants before taking lists of registered voters or voting machines. Democrats control the courts and all those sort of things. So yeah, no ICE at the polling stations, no IDs, all those sort of things. It's going to continue on as normal. I'm looking forward to it.
That's crazy. It's like, yeah. And wait, what's he worried about? He's worried about, Trump, rigging the election. I thought they couldn't be rigged. Oh, wait, this is intimidation. Making sure we have people there that aren't intimidating other people. You'd have police officers there making sure people aren't cheating and not intimidating other people. They'll take those people to be the intimidation for whatever reason.
Yeah, because he's out in January too, so it don't matter anyways. He had come out against the Trump accounts. Sorry, the $1.6 billion they were going to spend on weaponization of government for the people that were unjustly prosecuted, like Hunter Biden or something like that, could apply for this. Like Tom Blanche said, Gavin Newsom came out and said that California is going to tax 100% of that. If you ever rewarded that in California, we're just going to tax you.
I don't think that's legal.
That's his.
It can't be legal.
That's his opinion of the things that they want to do and try. I mean, when the Democrats are losing, they change the rules, and then they try to win that way. So yeah, it just continues on. A couple of things to be paying attention to also out here. Authorities caught a group of Chinese special interest aliens dressed in full camouflage trying to evade detection in the southern border of Texas. So yeah. We got more nationals actually made it across the border into the United States, military-age men doing weird stuff inside the United States. They were all picked up, and then they're going to be deported. So that operation stuff is still happening down on the border. It just luckily we got the drones and the rest of the people out there to take these people down. So it's still happening, guys. You got to be careful on the border itself.
Dude, what they need to do with those guys is, say 10, 15 people, whatever, call up China. Hey, we just found 10, 15 people on the border. Are they yours? No? Okay. And then bring them to some friggin' hole somewhere and stop pulling off fingernails. Like, what were you guys doing here? Exactly. Don't think that wouldn't happen, because it very well might be happening as we speak.
Exactly. What else did we get? Guatemala just gave the green light to allow President Trump's War Department to carry out cartel strikes inside the borders. Ecuador has already agreed to this arrangement, and Honduras may be next. So, yeah, we're going to start doing missions down there. No boots on the ground, but they want to blow more stuff up over there. Also coming out over here, what was this one? Oh, I didn't have the other one. Maybe it's a little bit later.
A goofy pause face.
We got to get through Blanche. I think it was Colombia down there had announced that they're going to set up 10 supermax prisons like they're doing in El Salvador at the same time. So they're going to work together and start building those out. That was shortly after this announcement was made. Colombia is the only other one that's really gone after the cocaine bust inside their country all by themselves, which is good for them. So, it's Colombia, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, a little comment about Raul Castro in Cuba.
For Mr. Castro, like anybody that's indicted outside this country, which we do all the time, the goal of the indictment isn't just the paper it's printed on. It's to bring the person charged into this country in a court of law and have them face justice. And how we do that, I mean, Maduro is an extreme example that happened on January 1st. But how we do that normally is extradition. It's working with our international partners. And so I said this the day of the indictment when we unsealed the indictment. But we didn't do this for a show indictment. We did this because we really need Castro here to face charges. He was indicted again by a grand jury in Miami, and that's where he should be tried. And we're going to do everything we can to get him here.
I like how he said that Castro, the Maduro, was an extreme operation. But yeah, they're going to go after him. Yeah, good luck for blowing up 2 planes. The guy's like 94. Yeah. So
he won't be able to run very fast, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's probably in Cuba itself, and Radcliffe was just down there talking down with their military industrial complex guys anyways. Ooh. They're sitting on, like he said, $16 billion.
Dude,
yeah.
Did you hear who Radcliffe brought with him there to Cuba?
No.
Cuba? Did you hear about this, Tron? This was crazy. So apparently, if you notice, some of the pictures that they have with Radcliffe there have the faces that are like fuzzed out with them.
Yeah, they're blurred.
Yeah, dude, he brought a few of the guys that actually went to Venezuela and took those or killed those Cuban guards of Maduro. He brought those guys with him to Cuba and was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Wow. Dude, that's a show of force. And back in the day, we would bring Bolton, we'd bring Lindsey Graham, and now we're just bringing the operators, baby. That is awesome.
So yeah, something might happen in Cuba in the next couple of weeks, because I mean they've been talking about this as a national security being, only 90 miles outside of the United States, and want to clean this up. And
our parents had to learn how to put their heads under a desk in case Cuba launched those missiles, man.
Yeah, Bay of Pigs. We all remember that. Tried to suck JFK into that. That's a whole nother story in itself. The other side of this is also happening out here is since we got issues with DHS funding, they're going to probably end up just pulling all the TSA out of all the Democrat sanctuary city ones. But since they're not getting paid and they're kind of scraping by money because they're basically defunding TSA and any of the illegal immigrants of rounding them up, they're going to save money. And his idea is just to go ahead and start pulling people from the airports. So the lines get long, we can use them in different areas. That's what he said. So yeah, I already got a list of them that they're already going to put out there. So yeah, that's something that they're technically working with operations right now on. So yeah, reduce there just a little bit.
The other huge, dude. Think about the traffic that those airports right there push, like JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, just those alone. And then you're going to pull in O'Hare, Chicago, O'Hare, San Francisco, Seattle, like Logan Airport in Boston, Philadelphia. You're talking some of the most major airports in the country. Love it.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, they're losing funding big time. The other side of this is the Trump accounts. The Kids app went live, so you can have more of an input into what the money's being used for, because they start off with 1,000, and then I think Jeff Bezos and the other guys donated a bunch of money to it to help grow some of the ones that are the initial fund accounts itself. If they're an older teenager, you're kind of screwed. But yeah, they're pushing this a little bit more as they came out, and was the app allows the individual parent to be more input into what the money's going to be invested in, which I find interesting. So yeah,
and this is great. So your child at 18 years old has a choice to start a business, go to college, or just go on, buy a home. And this is fantastic. This is something that most, families don't realize. Compound interest, $20 a month, $10 a month over the course of many years adds up, and it rolls over. So they can either cash it out to, make a purchase or move with it, or they can set it aside for like a retirement plan, and it just kind of keeps on going. So this is, educating Americans on how to save money, even during tough times. The last year, inflation and gasoline prices, there are, little alternatives. You can make a little bit on the side here and there. Boss has given us opportunities. He tells us what to buy, but this is long term and this is for our children. And this is, again, fiat money. But again, what is it going to be into the future? It might be decentralized. It might be some sort of crypto, some sort of a blockchain. But this is a start to get our kids to start saving early on. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's only starting. So hopefully we get to the little bit better of economy, because the inflation is kind of a little high here at this point. Not as high as under Biden, but obviously it's climbing up with the situation that we're at. On the other side of that, we're going to talk about the little fraud department that they did with the guys out here. It's very important to pay attention to the way the guy says this.
The Making Fraud Completely Unprofitable Unit.
You got it? Because there's a meme on it.
The Making Fraud Completely Unprofitable Unit, MFUCU. These units are your state's and really the country's first line of defense against Medicaid fraud. Under your leadership, the MFUCU units can flourish. MFUCU.
I just had to make fun of it over there on that side. So this is the 50-state fraud. They're going after Medicare, Medicaid. See where all the money is being spent out there. They need to go to Van Nuys, California, because 16% of the Medicaid fraud's over there, just in that one little area over there. Billions and billions of dollars. So they're going after that. There is some important things that we want to talk about out here. I'm not going to play the clip from Kelly Loeffler that's basically fluffing a lot of Trump. But the SBA had found $200 billion of the fraudulent PP loans that the Biden administration tried to hide and forgive and sweep it underneath the rug. So they're going back through the information. They're seeing where they were throwing the gold bars off the Titanic everybody was talking about. So not only were they throwing money at Stacey Abrams there for the $2 billion she got, they were going through here and finding what else the other $200 billion was being spent on. So they're going to see if they could just kind of collect all that stuff back, because they're also talking about that a lot of this went to international partners and are sitting in accounts inside the United States. So there is some serious thought about coming in and just collecting all that stuff.
This was almost bait, dude, because this was literally free money. All you had to do was prove that your business was declined and you lost employees due to the pandemic. And if you proved proper paperwork through your statements on your business, then you were able to get these loans pretty easily. So now what you're going to find is these individuals fabricated these documents in order to benefit from these loans. And yes, they are going to come back after you. So all those assets, all those Lamborghinis, all those Bugattis, they're going back to the government, going back to we the people, hopefully. And it almost seems like it was bait. Like, we're going to help you out if you need it, and then if you don't, you're going to get caught.
Hopefully. What else do we got? Oh yeah, this is comments coming from Trump. Is this a long clip here? No, we could play it.
They're finding billions and billions and billions of dollars, and I just said that's good. He said, you haven't seen anything yet. Just said that. And, if he does really great, we'll have a balanced budget without having to do anything. This is the kind of money they stole. They're crooks. They're thieves. And I hope that Todd is going to do a real job. These are crooked people. These are thieves. This isn't like a mistake. Just talking about one person, he got hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for securing one man, for taking care of one elderly man. He was a service. He got paid millions of dollars for taking care of one man. Total crook. They're all crooks. The Somalians, what they've done to Minnesota, the Somalians, they're crooked as hell. Ilhan Omar, crooked as hell. They're all crooks. And we got them. Now we're putting the clamps on. But boy, I tell you, that's an impressive group of guys that you have behind you. I was watching that, and a couple of very strong women, too. But I was watching that last night. I said, I'm proud of you guys. In 2 months, we've exposed tens of billions of dollars of defrauded taxpayer money, prosecuted numerous fraudsters, Todd, and stopped billions of suspicious payments, very suspicious. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet? Well, you see, I'm getting reports from Todd, from JD. I've never seen anything like it. The kind of, just hundreds of billions of dollars was stolen. And no other administration would do it.
Yeah, that's why they're doing a nationwide autism polling for all the ones that are doing autism across the United States, because it's something they went and looked at the numbers and only had gone up like 1,400% inside the United States in the last like 6 or 7 years for these particular centers. So it's absolutely crazy on how much money they actually spent. And again, he says you ain't seen anything yet. And these are probably coming out of the new states, probably some of the stuff out of California and Tennessee and, you know, some of the other ones out there. They were doing these massive frauds. So we'll find out here. So we're just kind of hurry up and wait on those types of things. And then again, go ahead.
The post, I guess they were quoting him in the last post. He says, everybody had autism. Everybody had autism. I mean, this is so bad, dude. Like, can you imagine, though, like, if they can right the ship on just this fraud, like Minnesota, California, and all the rest of the states that are to come as well, like, dude, that is so much money. If you can fix that, which clearly they're on it. And when he says things like that, like, we got them, now we're tightening the clamps, like, they know what they've got, I believe.
Yeah, he says, revealed Biden admin rushed to get the billions of dollars out the door, like to Stacey Abrams and all that. But the comment coming out from Minnesota is they were caught on video saying that they were rushing to get billions of dollars out the door before you're swearing in because they were afraid once you were sworn in, you were going to stop it. That's on tape for these people in a particular meeting talking about some of these things that they were doing inside the Biden administration. So the fraud should be exposed pretty big here. What did Tim Walz have to say about the whole situation? Because he's still playing dummy over here because 2 people just got busted. And again, for $21 million of Medicaid fraud.
Do you want to hear more from members of leaders from the Somali community to say, we need to look at ourselves. We need to hold our own neighbors accountable because look at the damage that this has done to our community. What do you want to hear more from instead of just saying, don't blame us? Do you want to see more ownership and oversight from within?
Look, it's not law-abiding citizens. If that were the case, there's a lot of white men should be holding a lot of white men accountable for the crimes that they have committed. I think for the community to maybe educate their population, because I think what you're seeing here is there's secondary victims in this, that there's providers inside the community that are then victimizing the community themselves by signing them up, because when we're going to some of these people, they're like, I had no idea I was in this program. So I think it's asking us then, you know, for every crime, which of course the majority being committed by white men, asking us to do more about that. I think it's crime in general. And I think the biggest thing on this is just making sure that we're educating the population. And again, this is 80 people or so that have been convicted in this.
Well, that one guy who's running the learning center with the missing R, was driving the really nice car. He didn't seem very white.
No, he
Dude, he's playing the race card right now in 2026. Can you imagine this? If you're an occupant of Minnesota, if you're a resident, dude, this has got to piss you off. Where are Minnesota Patriots at, man? This is, wow, dude.
Dude, I'm going to go, Hulk, to my dying breath in stating this emphatically. He was a marker. He was a bright, flashing neon light. And again, nobody can give me one damn good reason. You know, people say money, but they could have gotten money anywhere, I think. But why would you have this guy run for president along with Kamala Harris? He's not going to shore you up.
He thought he was going to be the next Biden. He thought, all that money was going to finance them, and they still ran out of money, dude. They still owe Jay-Z and Beyonce some cash, dude. How funny is that?
But yeah,
they can't even do it. Under budget, overproduction, all that fun stuff, man.
My dying breath.
Yeah, they ran that election right off of his state, and they were trying to get more money coming over from Ukraine. We reported that earlier, right into the Biden administration to run the election.
Yeah, and then
now they don't have any money.
And then magically after Trump gets in, it's like, oh, wait, we found fraud. Where was it? Oh, in this guy's state. Wink, wink, just happened to be. Yep. And, you know, maybe that's what
and
it
now
was.
They have to play that role like they didn't, like they never knew it was there, and we have to look further, and white people are bad for owning slaves. It's like, dude, who convinced the owners of Africa, the kings and queens, to release those slaves? It goes back to Rothschilds. It goes back to the banking system. And again, 250 years, man, this is coming up. We have to put the foot down. That's it. Can't believe that.
Exactly. I think we're not going to play all of this, but what this person is saying is pretty interesting, and I think it's part of this big bill that they put together. But yeah, how are they going to avoid fraud?
This is why undocumented people might not be able to use Zelle or Venmo anymore. So last week, while I was on vacation, the Trump administration issued an executive order that is going to change the banking system once it's fully implemented. It will seriously limit undocumented people's ability to use Zelle or Venmo, because if they do excessively, and they have no status in the United States, and they used a non-US passport to start their bank account, what it will do is it will trigger what's called enhanced due diligence. So normally when you create a bank account, all you really need is your name, date of birth, and address, and some ID number, a matricula or your foreign passport. Those have all been acceptable. But now under this executive order, what will happen is using a foreign passport or having an ITIN number will little by little degrade your rating with the bank. And if it degrades far enough, meaning you used an ITIN plus you registered with a non-US identification, plus other factors, then you will eventually reach what's called enhanced due diligence. Once an account has reached enhanced due diligence, there's no choice by the bank. They have to launch an investigation into you. They have to verify where your funds come. One of the things that they will look at that will also get you to enhance due diligence, apart from your foreign passport that you use to create the bank and an ITIN, is you're receiving repeated payments from peer-to-peer platforms such as Zelle or Venmo, because undocumented people receive money that way through Zelle or Venmo. If you see that, then it means that you might not have work authorization. Another thing they'll look at is if you do a lot of cash deposits, because that also signals that you do not have work authorization. Now, once that's happened, once you have been placed in EDD, they have to verify where your funds are coming from. Otherwise, they are no longer in compliance with the Bank Securities Act and the Patriot Act. It means that they have huge fines if they don't do it. And so they have to ask you, well, what is your status and what is your work authorization in order to verify the source of funds? If they are unable to verify the source of funds, then they have to, by law, freeze your account in order to stop you because they're treating you as a transnational criminal. Or they have to file a SARS, a suspicious activity report, with FinCEN, which is the criminal investigation unit of the Treasury Department. So for that reason, it's going to be very, very tricky for undocumented people to do transactions once this executive order goes through. All this executive order does will make it so that your activities as an undocumented.
On the other side of that, the same thing they're doing is if under that same group, and if you're transporting MoneyGram, Western Union, to like Mexico or whatever, and you reach a limit, you will also follow underneath that. Especially, you will not be able to send money if you're on government assistance, period. They already know that you'll be denied at the terminal, which I find interesting.
Heck yeah. Well, I mean,
this is great.
Yeah, they're not just, they're not just doing it, willy-nilly. They're talking about repeated, deposits and repeated transactions. So, yeah, it's definitely good.
But is that social credit score? Are we ready to be,
no,
because we're going to be, us legal law-abiding citizens are going to have the same kind of scrutiny. So are we ready for that kind of idea? We'll have to find out.
We need some sort of super cyber attack first and take down the internet, and then you'd have to get a digital ID to join the new one. It'll happen on a Friday as the banks go down, and then blah, blah, blah. Let's keep going. Oh, yeah. Just a quick comment from him.
The only way we can hold them accountable is by putting them in jail.
Does that include politicians? Well, I know that we're in the investigative process, and I know that your answer to me probably will be you need to let the investigation play out. But if this lands, and can be proven, that politicians were in some way culpable, overseeing it, negligent in some way, political accountability just isn't enough for the American people.
That's consistent with the president's absolute directive to his Department of Justice. It does not matter if you're a politician or if you're a fraudster from Somalia. We cannot tolerate it. And Governor Walz is a great example. He has done nothing but sue us Okay, sue the Department of Justice for trying to get records to understand the fraud happening in his state. Okay, so that is his reaction to us trying to save the government's money and recover against fraudsters, is filing lawsuits against us.
And what's been the reaction of California Governor Gavin Newsom?
Well, we've all seen it. On the one hand, he all of a sudden did a little bit of fraud arrests. He arrested a few people for fraud. Otherwise, eerie silence from him. Eerie silence, and there's more money being spent in California from the federal government than any other place in this country, and the fraud is extraordinary. And so at some point, politicians have to be held accountable, whether it's through me and through the grand jury process or through the voters. They have to be held accountable.
All right. So let's see if he gets his ducks in a row. I'd like to see him go after California. So yeah.
Heck yeah. Well,
what we want to hear.
They already are in a certain, a little bit of a way with Dr. Oz and maybe JD as well. So yeah, it's going to be, and dude, how about Walt's right there? Oh, these white people. It's like, wait, why are you fighting and filing lawsuits? Like, don't you want to get down to the bottom of those white folks, right? Wink, wink. Or wait, you're the one of those white folks.
No, that's where they got their money from their party to run for governor, was fleecing it from those people. So yeah, they want to keep going because they were getting all kickbacks. Remember, because Keith Ellison was meeting with those Somali people from the Learning Center with the missing R. They met inside the office the day before they got raided.
Love it.
Okay, we're going to get a little bit of follow the pen. She's got a longer interview. This is kind of following along what Tulsi Gabbard was up to, but here.
I've been gathering information for several weeks about these allegations that the CIA was tracking members of DNI Gabbard's investigative team. My latest reporting is that it was very well known in national security circles that a CIA investigations unit had sent emails to members of DNI Gabbard's team requesting that they come in for questioning. I was told that this was not routine. This is a unit that does polygraphs, does investigations, and the timing was very suspect. It didn't feel like routine counterintelligence work. Based on my reporting, there are credible allegations that DNI Gabbard's investigative team was blocked from getting access to key officials and key analysts at CIA who were handling the directed energy portfolio. I also understand that they were blocked from getting correspondence among CIA officials that would help them determine whether the intelligence had been manipulated under the Biden administration. And finally, the allegation, again, credible allegation, is that DNI Gabbard's investigators were not able to access some highly restricted intelligence that's held in compartmented programs. With all of these developments, we have reached out to the relevant U.S. government agency, and if we get a response, we will update you.
So do we see the stuff that she was talking about, the election, maybe the Havana syndrome, maybe more on the directed energy information they've got cooked up over there? There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not sure we're ever going to see the light of day on. I hope we do. But just things to come out, because you've been dancing around that election issue for like 2 months now. So we'll see.
Going out in a blaze of glory, dude. Guaranteed. Because, your husband's dying. Yeah, you're going to wait a month? Right? She's going the June 30th, right? So, wait, your husband's sick now, right? He's going to be sick in another month. Why would you wait a whole month? So she can boom, 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 boom on the way out, is my guess.
The end of the election stuff. Let's throw this in here.
I just want you to look here. I mean, this just tells you everything that you need to know, which is the net favorable rating with the GOP. You have Donald Trump, you have George W. Bush. Before Donald Trump declared back in May of 2015, look at this. George W. Bush's net favorable rating was plus 58 points. Donald Trump was 45 points underwater with Republicans. Look at this. This is over 100-point shift, I do believe. Donald Trump is now at plus 61. That's an over 100-point shift in the positive direction for Trump. And look at what happened to George W. Bush. He dropped by 40 points from plus 58 to plus 17. So George W. Bush has fallen through the floor since Donald Trump, of course, first really appeared on the political scene, first ran for president for the Republican nomination back in 2015, declaring in June of 2015, while George W. Bush simply put, as I said, his Republican Party is dead. Republican voters are very lukewarm on him, and Republican voters are still very hot to trot on Donald Trump. And you saw that in George W. Bush's home state of Texas on Tuesday night with John Cornyn, of course, a Bush-era Republican, going down.
And just a reminder that the Bush group went after not Cornyn, Paxton for that whole impeachment deal with their whole Senate and Congress and all that. Yeah, totally corrupt down there. But numbers coming out of CNN is always amazing to see that Trump is still doing good. So when we come back and we look at the election numbers that we did get, the redistricting that's falling into place, and the candidates that are pretty much falling into the spots that they all need to. We didn't see this in 2018. We were nowhere close to that particular position back then. I think we are now. It's just how much of this fraud can they nail down to see what this next midterm election is going to be. It's like, I think they're already watching and monitoring it and have a lot of things in place. But again, we've seen some crazy stuff in the last 3 elections.
Well, we have a lot of time between now and November, and Boss is already ahead of the game considering interest rates, inflation, gasoline, which is hitting most Americans. But again, have faith, be encouraged is kind of being exemplified right here in these next couple of months. So stay tuned, and Boss has a lot more for us. I mean, tricks up his sleeve come November.
I'm always surprised, to be honest with you. Everything that I see coming out of him.
And dude, what was that last election? Before today or whatever, he was 37-0 on his endorsements. So doing pretty well so far.
A little note here. Google pushes AI deeper into searches. More users is seeking simpler traditional alternatives. DuckDuckGo reportedly saw visits for the AI-free search page jump 22% over 1 week. So again, as you're seeing from Google, it's going to give you their generated, curated idea of whatever search results you're going to get. So be careful what you're following in there and hit the alternative search deals because Google sucks. To be honest with you, some of the stuff they've coming out with searching for is just appalling. So be careful what they're telling you. I'm sure it's nothing new, but just wanted to throw that out.
It wrong half the time, dude. I mean, the most
Or they're
simplest of
swaying their
things.
narrative.
Well, no, I mean, even something like with the DLive, I was like, when's the DLive platform shutting down? It's like, oh, we have no credible evidence that DLive's shutting down. I'm like, oh, well, here's a tweet from them from 2 days ago. They're like, oh, sorry, you're right to push back on that, but, it's kind of a new link. And I'm like, a 2-day-old link you guys couldn't figure out? AI? So, yeah, it's wrong so often. It's not even funny.
Exactly. What else do we got? Oh, another thing that is happening. Polymarket, proud to announce Polymarket's integrity infrastructure flagged another trader who was arrested in the morning in New York for insider trading with 2 out of 2 arrests in the industry, resulting in our criminal referrals. Polymarket emerges to enforce the leader blockchain trading, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, all those insiders are now going to start to get busted doing this sort of thing. So first one was the guy about Maduro. They got somebody else. And the White House is hitting it out of the park about oil prices. So we'll see what happens with those.
Well, think about it. As we're, scrutinizing their stock picks in Congress, what's her face? MTG's in Costa Rica having martinis over there with Massey and Nancy Pelosi. Who knows where she's at? But again, they always have to find an alternative for their criminal networks. And even Boss months ago said, yeah, it's kind of interesting, the insider trade, because it's like bait, guys. It's like Boss not going to Camp David. Something got leaked. And this is what it's all about, leaking and loyalty in 2026. So we'll see what happens as Boss on the side, I think it was like 6 months ago, announced that True Social and TMTG were going to go into prediction markets. And I think that was stalled in the last few months, but Polymarket, Kalshi, and even those accounts on X, they'll drop like little hints at things in order for you to go like drop a wager. So this is Biff Tannen. This is Back to the Future Part 2. And man, again, interesting, dude.
Yeah, they're smacking it out. What else do we got? Oh yeah, the whole Garden Grove hazardous material incident that they had over here for the last couple of days. Yeah, 40,000 people were evacuated out of this area. It finally ended. That was on the 26th. They announced that, so that's 2 days ago. Those people were probably out of their houses for like 6 days. It was a chemical plant that they used to glue stuff together, and basically they didn't want it to explode and kill a bunch of people, or leak out and then catch on fire and kill a bunch of people. So
now
that's what
they asked for federal funding to rebuild the community. Like this is where California gets slick with their stuff, dude. You know, if it's not a brush fire, it might just be this, you know, something like this with EPA involved.
Yeah, the local city government were hounded by residents wondering why they have these dangerous chemicals in their neighborhood across the street. So, yeah. So that was happening out there. Plenty of ones. They even got a catastrophic chemical tank explosion in Washington State. These are all this week, guys. I just happened to pick up a lot of these out there. Packaging facility also exploded. A bunch of people were injured, 2 dead. So, yeah, just I don't know if it's just picking it up in the news cycle that we saw them. Tank containing liquid ruptured in Longview packaging plant, just destroyed a whole bunch of stuff. So just throwing out some of the weird stuff, and I'm not saying it's anything nefarious or anything like that, but just interesting.
Odds are they probably are, some of them, but white liquid, huh? Damn.
Yeah. ExxonMobil shareholders just approved by 71% to leave New Jersey for Texas. The whole incorporation thing's not working out in Delaware or New Jersey, and everybody's heading to Texas, just like they saw Tesla and SpaceX and the rest of the guys go over there. So just find that interesting. We're seeing a lot of exodus from Democratic-run states.
Yep. The exodus is real.
What else do we got? Oh, this was interesting. Supermicro collaborates with Taiwanese authorities. Work with Taiwanese results in 3 arrests. Mr. Spacia, read that down there at the bottom.
Taiwanese? For your information, these arrests refer to smuggling powerful NVIDIA chips and supermicrocomputers to China. Quote, Supermicro collaborated with Taiwanese authorities, resulting in the arrest of 3 IT executives suspected of smuggling NVIDIA chips and Supermicro servers to China using falsified documents and Japan as transshipment hub. Taiwanese prosecutors seized 50 Supermicro servers destined for Hong Kong, highlighting ongoing evasion of U.S. export controls on advanced AI hardware through complex routing and repackaging schemes. The arrest follows March 2026 U.S. charges against Supermicro's co-founder and associates for diverting billions in AI servers to China, positioning the company as actively supporting enforcement while facing continued scrutiny. Damn.
So NVIDIA has no idea that we have no idea what you're talking about, even though they're really good friends with Supermicro. And have been for a long period of time. So these charges came out of California, or out of the United States, where they got the top 3 people from the company itself in this fraud. And basically, they were making fake servers with fake cabinets and hair dryers and things plugged in to produce heat. So the electrical bill. I mean, that's how far these guys went. So working with the U.S. government, Taiwanese, they went over and then they seized the other 50 Supermicro servers that were setting up for these shipments to get out of the country itself. These are tens of millions of dollars a piece, or maybe 100. These things are super expensive if they're the super high-end stuff. So this could be $1 billion worth of servers with no problem getting over there to China. So interesting things to see these things develop out a couple of weeks later after the March stuff that happened. So yeah, interesting. They got them to fold over and rat on the rest of the group out there is basically what happened.
Heck yeah.
The other thing is NVIDIA, Jensen, he hung around in China for a little bit. And then he's going to co-chair the CCP stuff. What was it? Joined the board of Tungsten University, China's premier CCP institution. So he's going to try to lockstep with those guys over there. And then he spent some time over at Taiwan doing the sort of the same thing. Just find it really interesting. He's putting a lot of influence in those 2 countries after Trump left. So we'll see what happens. But he hung out for a while out there. That was oil. Those things. Oh, yeah. We already talked about that. What else do we want to get into here? Some people were talking about central currency, digital bank currency, those types of things. And they had done a bunch of talks, and he's answering questions. And I went through looking for this because they were talking about this on the news, because you had talked about digital IDs and all those sort of things, that he's reasserting they are not doing a central bank digital currency.
So this administration has been very clear. There will be no central bank digital currency, which I think the would be the first step toward tracking. So we have taken that off the table. We passed stablecoin legislation with bipartisan, and the Clarity Act is now up on the Hill. And I think it has bipartisan support. And the most important thing we can do is to make digital assets come into the United States, make the U.S. the home, our regulation, our best practices, or what will ensure good standards for these. When you look at digital assets, all the nonsense that happens, all the things you read about, that's because it's the wild, wild west offshore, so we got to bring it on shore. So I would encourage the House and the Senate to get clarity done.
So yeah, they're going to definitely send a bunch of regulatory rules in there about the way that the crypto is going to function and stable coins and all that, because I don't know how much longer we can hold on to our petrodollar, which is technically fake for the last few years because we're not actually pegging the dollar to a barrel of oil anyways. So it's funny money. I don't know. What do you think, Tron? Where are we going to land? Is it a big giant face plant? Do I start getting cigarettes and alcohol together with toilet paper and start stocking for that?
Yeah, man, I love a barter system. I mean, I'm planting my garden this year, and we collaborate with the neighbors on what to grow. Because sometimes, even being an Italian myself, I have too many tomatoes. So we barter them for the cucumbers, the zucchinis and whatnot, onions and garlic. So this is fantastic. No central bank digital currency. But again, tracking the money, follow the money, going back to the very beginning. How does the cabal work? Again, this goes back to the mob RICO statute and also grand conspiracy. So follow the money, digital currency. And this is why Boss is kind of mocking our fiat currency with this $250 bill. And he had another one a few weeks back mocking the old school system that solidified us for so many years. But again, we can't survive on this. So if Boss is going to do anything, now's the time. He has Scott Bessent by his side. And again, he's from the old school. He's from George Soros, BlackRock era, all that Vanguard stuff. So he's that guy in high school you never liked, but always had a certain source of intelligence. So let's just find out where it goes from here. And if anyone's going to set the precedent, it's going to be DJT. So let's figure it out and follow the money and track it mostly via a blockchain. It makes sense for everyone to see. Instead of aliens.gov, they should have blockchain.gov where you can find out where all your money's being spent. So with that whole website on, where are the illegals being arrested is a springboard to where is the money being spent. So this is fantastic. And this is basically just the start of something great.
Hopefully we get there. Hey, you remember that whole biolab thing that they found in Las Vegas, had Ebola and all that weird stuff happening in that rental house?
Vaguely.
Yeah, in Las Vegas. Yeah, Mr. Space Shot, read that for everybody there.
I heard they let him go. Strange news out of Las Vegas. The Israeli property manager linked to an illegal Las Vegas biolab, which contained HIV and dengue fever, just had federal charges dismissed against him. Federal charges have been dropped against Ori Solomon, mysterious Israeli property manager linked to an illegal biolab found at a short-term rental in East Vegas. Solomon still faces a Clark County criminal charge for improper disposal of something. I guess they found a bunch of weapons there as well, right?
Well, it was a lot of Ebola bad stuff that they found inside this guy's house, and local authorities were like, "Oh, damn! It says it's bad. We should call the CDC and or call the FBI." They denied to come. They called the CDC, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll come and take a look." They came and take a look, and they go, "Yeah, you got bad stuff in there," and they're left. And they're like, "What do you want us to do with it? It's up to you guys. You guys can go and dispose of it any way you want to." They're like, "Well, we don't know what's in there. We don't have the equipment to support it." They're like, "That's your problem." And then they go back there, look, they go, "Oh shit, we found Ebola in there. Do you guys want to come back?" "No, that's okay. Just destroy it all." So weird shit out of the government on this particular case about how they don't want to touch anything. Never mind the fact the other child porn thing of the Israeli intelligence officer out of Vegas also. Just saying, just weird shit going on over there.
Also, these little blips that we're getting in this matrix, which seems kind of crazy and interesting at the same time. But again, hardcore anons have been prepared for this. We're getting a glimpse of that 16-year plan in little, spurts, whether it's a week or 2 weeks of narrative. And this is what they had in plan for us under a Hillary plus from the past. So again, count our blessings and let's keep on charging in the next few years and see what we can do.
What else do we got here? Oh yeah, New Mexico opened a probe into. Sorry, let me re-say that. Yeah, New Mexico Attorney General is opening a criminal investigation into Epstein's Zorro Ranch. Remember, they all started poking around out there about the land and started asking questions because nobody ever raided Zorro Ranch when Epstein was arrested the first time. Yeah, they just did New York and the island. Nobody touched New Mexico, and then they had that whole land deal where somebody bought it as a private party, and weird stuff going on with the property. But yeah, they're going to take a look at it again. So I just thought that was interesting. Another blip on the radar.
Definitely weird. Well, at least they're going to look into it.
Space Shot, when do you think we're going to hear about Ray Chandler? That's been silent. She's been on ice for a long time.
Ray Chandler, the procurer child handler. Oh, yeah, it's been a while. And then we even got Allison Mack's been out of jail for a couple of years now, at least, too. And Ray Chandler was supposed to be Allison Mack times 1,000, 100 or something.
Yeah, here, last story right here. I thought this was interesting.
Maybe she's
talking. Deja, you want to take this one?
Sure. Yeah, dude, this is interesting, and I'll have some interesting discussions on it tomorrow as well. Peter Thiel is cooking up a Plan B. He's not cooking it up. He's en route. Cooking up a Plan B for fleeing the United States and hunkering down in Argentina, which I hope is an indicator of how bad he thinks it's going to get for the new right and how dramatically J.D. Vance has failed as a viable political vehicle for Thiel's agenda. Interesting. New roots in Argentina said to be politically motivated by concerns about the future of the United States and shared belief with Argentina's right-wing leader, Milei.
Yeah, he is. He's down there. I mean, he's already got kids going to private school down there and all this sort of weird stuff going on. So he's moved his entire life down there. So just to put that on the radar out there is the different things we're paying attention to. And that's basically all I got, folks.
You gotta love, because remember, he was doing these stupid, remember he did this like speech on like the Antichrist. So if you saw in that clip, it said, oh, he took out some local economist to dinner and started discussing the Antichrist, his, favorite topic. And I'm like, dude, get this sweaty weirdo out of America. Good. Bye-bye.
Exactly.
Sweaty.
Just going through my list just to make sure I haven't skipped anything out there.
Oh, sweaty.
Yeah, the rest of this stuff we're going to keep for Saturday. There's some interesting stuff going along. The social medias we'll be talking about. We've got Ferraris released a new car. Just a whole bunch of interesting reactions all about that from the rest of the thing. And yeah, we'll continue the rest of the saga on Saturday because that's about all I got for those things.
Yes,
anything we missed, guys, you should throw out, talk about, cover out there?
Yeah, Tron, you should throw him your decode, the one that I had a very simple decode of that you saw the second piece after POTUS dropped it the other day, because that's very interesting. The Good Morning Patriots post. I'll drop my version into our chat here for you. Go.
Is
crazy,
this the last one?
Yeah, he just dropped it.
The Game Over Deep State?
That's crazy,
This one?
dude. Yeah, look where it started there, dude. I mean, it's crazy.
You're muted there, Tron.
Yeah, there it is, guys. On the 26th, boom time, baby. DJT coming out with another spiritual Street Fighter, Game Over Deep State, with a nice Q in the background and the Q plus on the lapel and a Delta on top. This is a double Delta, baby. Check it. We're in for one hell of a show. Then, boss, a few minutes after the Game Over Deep State on the 26th, he drops Stay With Me, Deplorables. You'll love how this movie ends. So there it is, guys. DJT dropping it, and then grab that one from Space Shot. Now, before Boss drops this amazing crumb, our Department of War dropped something that is a little bit more interesting right there. Good morning, Patriots are in control, and this is on the 26th on the morning. I believe this comes, this comes after Boss. So Boss was at 6:02 a.m., and this comes a few hours later, locked in, 9:49 timestamp, and there it is, Patriots. Talk about session, talk about Fox saying McCabe will skate, old school, baby. Trust the plan, full control connecting to Patriots are in control, locked in. And also a little sprinkle on top. Go back to the previous image there that I had. Yeah, right there. So the image on the right, stay with me, deplorables. You'll love how this movie ends. The difference, the time difference between that drop on the 26th of this year and when Q dropped it comes to a date. I don't have it with me, but it comes into a Q drop of 2217 or something where it says Castle Lock. And again, going back to the other decode there, the locked in, connects back to Department of War, locked in on the gap code between the time, the gap code of the image and the Q drop. So Boss is operating at all cylinders. And again, we have November, and then we have 2 years to rock and roll until 2028. And then let's just see what happens, dude. Because Boss teasing about, being there in 28 and also 2032 is a little bit of humor and joking. But again, we know how Boss operates, Patriots, a little bit of truth inside of that humor and comedy. So stay tuned and we'll just, figure it out. Love it.
Yeah, I think it's been a long road for a lot of us just to see somebody at least held accountable with at least some sort of justice out here safely in America. Is always my thought process is, how do you safely serve justice in America? And I think that's one of the hardest things that we could possibly get done here. And with the amount of corruption and deep state that we still know exists inside this country itself, they didn't go away. It's not like a light switch and sweep it underneath the rug. These people are still here. They're still pulling the strings because Trump and the minions out there are just individuals that are here for a short period of time, and they're trying to wait them out. They're 2.5 years, guys, like Comey was saying. The legions, you got 2.5 years, hang out. We're going to go ahead and rebuild when we get a different administration. That's their plan. They're going to come back and attack hard. We got to be careful with that.
No vengeance. We need to have no hold nothing back. Do what they would do, right? But they've told us they got to do it by the rule of law. So maybe it's take a little bit longer than we wanted, of course, but I'm loving what I'm seeing right now, and I can't wait to see what Tulsi's going to do on her last 32 days or whatever it's going to be. And again, you're going to go support your husband that's dying of cancer. It's like, well, I'll wait another month and I'll go take care of him. That's just weird to me.
Well, they're doing it so they can hand over to the department to the next person. So like a little handoff transition type of thing.
He was the principal deputy.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, but that he runs day to day versus doing, over operations over 18 individual 3-letter agencies, because that includes Space Force too at the top. So it's a lot of shit to do. You just can't switch it on and off with a light switch. So that's probably why they're doing the handoff. That's my idea of that. But if they're another person like a Bondi or like a Bongino that set things in motion, so to get to the finish line where we want to see some of this corruption exposed and at least be a learning experience for the rest of America would be great.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And you have to remember the alert happened on November 22nd of 1963. There's Patriots in the chat who have been waiting a very, very long time. And I always go back to that when I'm looking at 8-9 year deltas, that this goes farther back and we still have Patriots that want to see the finale. And this is the time to do it. We can feel it, guys. It's in the air. Our goosebumps have goosebumps. And this is a long time coming. And we're going to succeed. And even if we don't, quote unquote, succeed, and what is the ultimate prize? Is it Q drop 0? Hillary Clinton will be arrested? Or is it the whole kit and caboodle? Do you want a little taste or do you want the whole thing? You want the appetizer? You want the creme brulee, a little aperitif? This is a long time coming, whether it was 9/11 or Kennedy assassination, go back to Titanic. I mean, psyops upon psyops, but most importantly, the people are ready for this, dude. We have had so much done to us in the last 8+ years, especially during pandemic. It's not going to happen anymore. It doesn't matter Republican or Democrat. Crossing party lines, this is for our future, and this is for our solidification of America 250. This is it. And Boss is going to go out blazing, guns blazing. Say hello to my little friend. The world is yours. The eyes, Chico, they never lie. This is it, baby. This is it. And I'm telling you right now, for all the Patriots, post Memorial Day that has given their ultimate sacrifice, this is for all of you. And we're going to have the cheering going on since the beginning. 1776 will commence. And again, going back to the very beginning, Patriots, this was never meant to be. And it's almost like it was supposed to be. So have faith, be encouraged. And we're here for the light at the end of the tunnel, baby. Bring it. It's bright. I like it.
Yeah. American 250 justice out there. What do you think, Mr. Space Shot?
It's coming. I can sense a building up of exposure, and this, the fraud especially, and then he's not obviously letting go the 2020 election and the Crossfire Hurricane. So like I like to say, dovetailing, it's all seeming to build in the same manner, each, individually on their own, but they're all coming back into the same time frame again. So it's all coming back into the wheelhouse, and I think they're doing this extra slow because it is taking some of the people in the back of the short bus a little time to register what's going on here. And so yeah, they kind of keep having to do the repeats as necessary type of thing over and over and over again because boy, some people are slow.
Yeah, hopefully we get to the finish line is what we're really looking for. Any thank yous or anything else you guys should shake out or anything you want to do on that side?
We know you got to do your pilled side, sir, and then I just had a few people I thanked from earlier, and I will just reiterate those again, actually, and I got a couple more here. Park Mom says, my dad knew about dropped the $2 Rumble rant, thank you for that, says, my dad knew about JFK Friday, 11/22/63 on the previous Wednesday, so a while. Also, Blacklist is D-Class. Ooh, I like that show, Blacklist. And Josie Ann had just gifted out 5 subscriptions to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. And D Starboy, who did it earlier, gifted out 5, and to Jay Back for the $10 Rumble rant earlier as well. So thank you guys very much for that. And over to you, sir.
Philly Q, thank you for the subscription over there to Hulkinator. On the pilled side, we're going to go all the way up to the top over there. Q shook me all night long, gifted the can out there. Woke and walked, gifted the can. Happy Table of Titans. God bless Hulk, Space Shot, Rdoc, Tron, and the whole Foxhole fam. Tina Peters be set free from the La Vista Correctional Facility in Pueblo, Colorado on June 1st. That's coming up very shortly. I think that's Wednesday. Woke and Walked also gifted 117 gold pills. Sean Joe with the can and a cookie. One Thunder with the can. Another can gives a can and a cookie and a can. I think I did that right. Woke and Walked gifted the cookie. Current spot price for 1 kilogram gold bar is $145,000. 303 bars is $43 million. Yay. Almost $44 million just for extracurricular activities. Woke and Walk gifted the cookie. The 1717 and Matt 1776 gifted the cookie. Space on Hulk crew. Much love. We appreciate it. You guys all rock out there. We want that one. You guys all rock out there. I'm going to release the gold pills here just in a second to scratch them off. You guys can play with that out there. Tron, you doing, you're back to regular schedule for your show?
Yeah, guys, back to the regularly scheduled program. And this Sunday is episode 300 of the Great Awakening Morning Show. I can't believe we made it that far. So many years, and appreciate you guys. 300 episode on Sunday. Friday night, we're back to Friday Funnies. And tomorrow night's me and Tron, Mrs. Tron's ginger anniversary. So we're going to celebrate. I'm taking her out to lunch. And then we're going to party on Friday night. And then Saturday night is our music show as well. So looking forward to that. And thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And anyone that hits a repost button on my Rumble shows will be eligible to win some Tron Try merch from tronanon.com. I got waterproof decals and all sorts of fun merch over there. Check it out. Trump 2028, Jesus is King stickers, Pepe the Frogs, and also Golf of America. Check those out. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow night, if not Saturday and Sunday morning. Oh, and tomorrow morning I have to burn like 5 hours of Rumble Premium. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but tomorrow morning, just pay attention. And I don't know, I might just play a video on loop overnight just to get done. I don't know. But thank you, Holt, for a great show in Space Shot. And also check out the Rambo and Friends show this afternoon on a Thursday. It was a great show as well. And thank you, Tribe, for joining us. Much love. Have faith. Be encouraged. And as always, dig, meme, and pray. Where we go one, baby, we go all. Let's go.
So where are you taking the redhead to for birthday dinner?
I'm taking her to the same place we went to on our first anniversary. It's a seafood and steakhouse. She likes raw oysters, dude. Gingers like raw oysters and mussels. We're going to do a little surf and turf on our anniversary, and then we're going to, be there for Friday night. Yeah.
You can get some drinks too, or?
Maybe a little champagne, a little vino. We can do it that way. That's the way to do it, I think.
Go for it, Tron. It'll get a little wine, a little oysters in there. Yeah, we all know how those work together.
Oh yeah, it works out all right. That's your new bluechew.com. Go check it out. Use code Tron.
Mr. Space Shot, anything else you want to throw out there before we get out of here?
No, I'll be live with Ghost and Mike tomorrow at noon Eastern time, getting back into the rhythm of things here. So we'll be cooking from 12 to 2 tomorrow evening. Great stuff, great show otherwise, guys. And yeah, keep you guys' head on a swivel. Lots of moving parts moving quicker and quicker as the days go by. So we'll be here for it. And like I said before, I'll be here at noon tomorrow live. I'll set that live a little bit after midnight.
Sweet. And like Space Shot always says,
we do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful World Patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right, it's brackets and jackets, bringing it back for brackets and jackets, special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right, you see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right, they want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.